ABC Sports presents College Football Today. From Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor, Michigan, the Boilermakers of Purdue taking on the Michigan Wolverines. Temperature in the 40s, cloudy, the sun trying to break through, and for the 35th consecutive time in this stadium, they will put more than 100,000 people in the seats. They're expecting 105,000 for a very big game today. And this ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Natural Light Beer. Taste is why you'll switch to Natural Light. By Midas, when it comes to real value for your dollar, it pays to Midasize. By the automatic MINOLTA XG1. Wait till you see how good you can be with MINOLTA. And by STP, STP gas treatment and STP oil treatment. A very big game in the Big Ten. Take a look at the standings. As you can see in the conference, Ohio State, Michigan, and Purdue are all unbeaten. Overall, however, and this could be the determining factor in who goes to the Rose Bowl. We'll explain that momentarily. Ohio State has lost only once, that to UCLA earlier this season. Michigan and Purdue have each lost 2 games, come in with marks of 7 and 2. Now today in Iowa City, the Buckeyes should not have any problems as they take on the Hawkeyes there. Next week, however, take a look at the schedule as Michigan goes to Columbus to meet Ohio State, and Indiana goes into West Lafayette to take on the Purdue Boilermakers. Hello again, everybody. I'm Al Michaels, and welcome to a very big day on ABC Sports. Purdue, Michigan, of course, to start things. And then you will see from Birmingham, the second half of our doubleheader, a big one. Unbeaten but once tied Notre Dame taking on once beaten Alabama. That's the second half of our NCAA doubleheader. Let's set this game in perspective as far as the Rose Bowl is concerned. Michigan will determine its own fate. If they win today and if they win next week at Columbus, they will be the conference champion and go on to Pasadena. Ohio State controls its own fate. If they beat Iowa today and if they beat Michigan next week, they will go. Purdue, meanwhile, needs some help. They must beat Michigan today, and they must get a Michigan victory next week against Ohio State, or a tie or a loss by Ohio State today against Iowa, which is unlikely, to send Purdue. The reason being that the first tiebreaker in the conference is head-to-head competition, and in 1980 Ohio State will not face Purdue. The second tiebreaker would be overall record. So if Ohio State and Purdue tie for the conference championship, Ohio State would go with a better overall mark. So in essence today, a Rose Bowl elimination game as Michigan takes on Purdue. In just a moment, a look at the Boilermakers.
Gordy, who? You switched to Natural Light.
Sure, Natural Light tastes better to me. That's why I switched.
And it's all natural ingredients. Tell me, Gordy, now that you've retired, life's a little more peaceful, huh?
Much more.
2 Natural Lights, please.
Give me a check. Check.
Natural Light. Taste is why you'll switch.
I'm learning to take it easy.
Him too. Check.
Harry, you've been gone for hours. Didn't they have a muffler for your car?
I should have gone to Midas.
Did you get a guarantee this time?
I should have gone to Midas.
So how much did you spend?
I should have gone to Midas.
Before you go anywhere else for a muffler, come to Midas, and you won't go anywhere else.
So tell me, Harry, how come you didn't go to Midas?
It pays to Midasize.
There a look at the Boilermakers for 1980. They started out with a loss to Notre Dame. Came back, beat Wisconsin as expected, went home to West Lafayette, lost to UCLA, but turned things around after that game. And look at the points they have scored in their 6 consecutive victories. 52 2 weeks ago against Northwestern, 58 points last week against Iowa. So they're averaging better than 40 points a game through their 6-game winning streak, and they're led by Heisman candidate Mark Herrmann. His numbers for the season there, completing 63.6% of his passes. He's already thrown for 18 touchdowns. Through Herrmann's career, he has rewritten the NCAA record book. As you can see, career yards passing, the most completions, and when you throw that much, you'll normally wind up with the most interceptions, the most attempts, yards gained against one opponent, and he set 3 separate marks as a freshman. Mark Herrmann, the man many think is the best college quarterback in the country. 6'4". He is a senior as you look at his career numbers. Comes from Carmel, Indiana. Let's briefly review Mark Herrmann's career at Purdue. As a heralded freshman in 1977, didn't take Mark Herrmann long to live up to all expectations. In only his third collegiate game against Notre Dame, he passed for 351 yards. Despite that fact, the Boilermakers lost to the Irish. Then his sophomore season, 1978, Purdue came into Ann Arbor with a good chance to win the Big Ten championship and a trip to the Rose Bowl. But it was a very frustrating and very short afternoon for Mark Herrmann. An interception here in the first quarter, followed shortly thereafter by a sack. Before the first quarter was over, Herrmann was finished for the day with a neck injury. Michigan wins it easily. Final score 24-6. Wolverines go to the Rose Bowl. Then Herrmann's junior season, 1979, the stunning upset against Notre Dame. The final score was 28-22. Here he gets his All-America tight end, Dave Young, number 80, for the touchdown. And the climax of his junior season, New Year's Eve, 1979, in the Bluebonnet Bowl in Houston against the University of Tennessee. A thriller. The imposing Herrmann drifting out of the pocket, finding Young for a touchdown. Purdue comes from behind, wins the Bluebonnet Bowl over the Volunteers. The final score was 27-22. So 3 good seasons behind him when 1980 began. Herrmann was one of the prime candidates, if not the prime candidate, to win the 1980 Heisman Trophy. Purdue opening its 1980 season against Notre Dame on ABC, and before the game, Jim Lampley talked with Herrmann.
An opening game telecast to most of the country against Notre Dame could have a big effect, couldn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be critical for our team as well as for my individual success. So, you know, I'm looking at it, hopefully to come out there with a good game and a good win. And, you know, hopefully if we don't, you know, come out there as well as we wanted, it won't hurt my chances or our chances. But we're looking for the best going in.
It was not to be that day, however, for Mark Herrmann, because in practice earlier that week, he banged his thumb off the helmet of one of his teammates in a scrimmage. As a consequence, he took some warm-up throws that afternoon, couldn't make it, spent the day as a spectator watching the Boilermakers lose to the Fighting Irish. In his stead, taking over at quarterback was young Scott Campbell, who will get sacked in this sequence. Overall, not a bad day for Campbell, but he was certainly no match for the vaunted Irish. The final score was 31-10. Notre Dame. Herrmann looked on, frustration written all over his face, but back he came shortly thereafter. And then just 3 weeks ago on October 25th against Michigan State, this pass to Bart Burrell, number 87, eclipsed the all-time NCAA passing yardage record previously held by Jack Thompson. Mark Herrmann adding yet another notch in the record book. And so a capsulized look at Mark Herrmann's career and the Purdue Boilermakers as they come into Ann Arbor, Michigan to take on the Wolverines. In just a moment, a preview look at Michigan.
STP, a big name in racing for nearly 20 years. STP oil treatment on the track in some of the world's most expensive engines. Around the track, around the world, every day, tens of thousands of people get STP oil treatment. Get it for your car. Satisfaction guaranteed. Around the track, around the world, STP oil treatment is #1.
I used to run through airports. Now I fly through them. With new Hertz #1 Express service, I fly non-stop from my plane to my car without stopping at the counter. If you ask for #1 Express when you make your reservation, your Ford or other fine car and contract will be waiting at the #1 Express booth. Once again, Hertz puts you in the driver's seat faster than anybody else.
Saturday, it's an evening of love and fantasy at 8-7 Central and Mountain.
This season did not begin very auspiciously for the University of Michigan. They had to struggle in their opener to beat a weak Northwestern team 17-10. Then came successive losses to Notre Dame and to a George Rogers-led South Carolina team. But as the calendar turned a page and went into the month of October, Michigan got hot. And since that time, the Wolverines have reeled off 6 consecutive victories, come into today's game with a mark of 7 wins and 2 losses. Throughout the 70s, Michigan under Bo Schembechler with tremendous success, pretty much typified by this type of play. Rick Leach running the basic down-the-line option, packing it in, and picking up a good gain on the ground. Rick Leach, from 1974 through 78, the quarterback, and a man out of the same mold was John Wangler. Last year, Wangler leading Michigan into the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville against North Carolina. Here in the second quarter, he gets sacked. The injury does not look initially very serious, but indeed it was. A knee injury that required extensive surgery. And a lot of people thought that John Wangler's career had ended that night in the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. Extensive rehabilitation undergone by the senior quarterback. Yesterday at practice, I had a chance to visit with John, who took us chronologically through the rehabilitation situation.
Well, I was in a cast for 8.5 weeks, and then I was on crutches probably about a month and a half after that, and then I was able to start walking. And once I was able to start walking, I was able to start lifting weights and swimming and using a orthotron machine and riding a bike and doing a lot of different exercises which the trainers had set up for me to do. And it wasn't until June 1st that I was able to start jogging again. And once when I started to jog again, I felt pretty good, and I was encouraged by that. And by the 1st of July, I was running at pretty much full tilt and being able to make some cuts, and that was really encouraging. I felt, by July, middle of July, that I knew that I'd be able to come back and play in this season.
Wangler has made a successful comeback this year, but his mobility has been somewhat limited. As a consequence, Michigan's attack now features power running and big play passing. Number 1, Anthony Carter, just a sophomore, has already caught 17 touchdown passes, a Michigan school record. And Anthony Carter, only a sophomore, is number 1 in the nation in returning kickoffs. Here, from the goal line, taking the second half kickoff against Notre Dame in September in South Bend and exhibiting his skills. Down the sideline, cuts back to his left, across the field. And Anthony Carter, off times this season, has put Michigan in very good field position. This run back against the Irish, 67 yards. The power running attack features Butch Woolfolk, Stan Edwards, and Lawrence Ricks, 3 very capable backs. The fullback, number 32, is the senior, Stan Edwards, who has rushed for 651 yards. The tailbacks, splitting duties from that particular spot, are Lawrence Ricks, only a sophomore, with 735 yards on the ground. And the junior, number 24, Butch Woolfolk, in action here against the University of Illinois 3 weeks ago. The Michigan Wolverines, 6-0 in the Big Ten, 7-2 overall, coming in today against Purdue. And college football today will continue right after this.
This eagle really flies because we chose these great new cars for Tyco's new Daredevil jump. Race them flat out. Then, up the ramp, and now in slow motion, they leap into space over the oil drums and keep right on racing. Now add more oil drums. Turn out the lights. The whole race lights up with excitement with Tyco's Night Glow. That's real night racing. Take off! The Daredevil Jump with Night Glow by Tyco, of course.
Inside this Magnavox Color TV is a Magnavox high-resolution filter that gives you 25% clearer touchdowns and hold-ups, shootouts, and drop-ins, weather maps and anchormen, baseball bats and rolling pins, movie queens and bobby socks, even commercials for Magnavox. Color TV with a 25% clearer picture. Another Magnavox bright idea.
The brightest ideas in the world are here to play.
Chances are your Zales diamond was unearthed in Africa. From there, it may have been selected in London, cut in Israel, mounted in New York. Few jewelers can supervise every step of the way, but Zales does, so we come to know every diamond personally. Zales is the world's largest jeweler. No one knows more about your diamond.
No one knows more than the diamond store sales.
This is a big day not only on the field in college football, but off as well, because at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, or less than 6 hours from now, bowl invitations can be extended and can be accepted by various schools around the country. Now, none of these are official or will be official for at least 5.5 more hours, but through our best sources and through our best guesses, let us take a look now at the way we think some of the major bowls will be pairing up. In the Sugar Bowl, our best guess is that the winner of the Notre Dame-Alabama game will go, and they will face Georgia, assuming Georgia clinches the Southeastern Conference Championship today with a victory against Auburn. No easy task, as has been the case the past couple of years for the Bulldogs. In the Orange Bowl, we are speculating that Notre Dame, if they lose today, or Florida State, would take on the winner of the Big Eight. And, of course, that will be determined next week when Oklahoma takes on Nebraska in Lincoln. In the Cotton Bowl, our best guess is Alabama if they lose today, or Notre Dame if they lose today, or Florida State, perhaps, to take on, of course, the Southwest Conference champion. That would figure to be Baylor. They just about have a lock on it with a 2-game lead in the Southwest Conference. The Rose Bowl, of course, will match the winner of the Big Ten, Ohio State, Michigan, or Purdue, against probably Washington. Of course, only 5 teams are eligible. Washington State still has a minimal opportunity, but Washington is certainly in the driver's seat right now. Our best guess for the Gator Bowl, South Carolina and George Rogers against Pitt. No matter how the Pitt-Penn State game comes out, we think the Panthers are headed for Jacksonville. In the Liberty Bowl, our guess there would be the Missouri Tigers taking on Ohio State, Michigan, or Purdue. Of course, the winner going to the Rose Bowl. We think the second-place team will probably go to the Fiesta Bowl. The third-place team will wind up in Memphis. And the Fiesta Bowl, there again, you've got the Big Ten situation, probably the runner-up against the Penn State Nittany Lions. And, of course, everything will be official later on today, 6 o'clock Eastern Time. In just a moment, we'll return to Ann Arbor, Michigan. More of college football today.
What I know about my car could fit in the glove compartment. I just want someone to work on it I can trust.
My mechanics and I are professionals. We take pride in our work, and that builds trust.
I've always figured the best mechanics use quality parts.
If a part fails, it's my reputation that's damaged. So I use Napa brand parts. Lots of them are better than original parts.
For quality parts you can trust, look for the Napa sign. When the name is Napa, the standard is quality.
Wait till you see how good you can be with MINOLTA XG1.
Hey, you want to see some terrific pictures?
Depend on the automatic MINOLTA XG1 to give you clear, sharp pictures. It does the work. You take the credit.
Yeah,
Hey, do you want to see some terrific pictures? No.
Yeah, look.
That's lovely.
For a limited time, get an XG1 and get a $25 rebate from MINOLTA. See your dealer now for details.
A distinguished guest looking on today in Ann Arbor, Dr. TSE-MIN, who is the Chinese ambassador to the United States, a guest of the University of Michigan, and taking in his first college football game today. And he has picked a beauty. Michigan and Purdue, 2 unbeatens in the Big Ten, each with a mark of 7-2, one ranked 16th, the other ranked 11th. Stay tuned for the Wolverines and the Boilermakers following this word from our local stations.
Tuesday, the Fonz gets a new look and a new teaching job that's no easy assignment on happy days.
I know. I'm tired. I don't care what your name is. You're late.
Then, on the premiere of Laverne and Shirley, it's a move to California.
Who are you?
In search of stardom.
ABC Sports presents NCAA College Football. From Ann Arbor, Michigan, the Purdue Boilermakers and the Michigan Wolverines. Purdue, led by senior Mark Herrmann. They think he can win the Heisman. Last week, 439 yards through the air against Iowa, and he sat out the fourth quarter. Michigan, also led by a good quarterback, senior John Wangler, and a potent offensive attack. The Wolverines and the Boilermakers. It is dry at Ann Arbor. Temperature about 40 degrees. Light wind and 105,000 looking on as this ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Chevrolet and your Chevy dealer with Chevette Monza Citation of the new Monte Carlo. Chevy's up ahead for 1981. By Texaco, with over 66,000 employees doing their best at their jobs to keep your trust. By Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by Lanier Business Products, creators of the No Problem electronic typewriter, the typewriter that does more than just type. And the roar going up as the Michigan Wolverines come out onto the tartan turf surface at Michigan Stadium. Michigan with 6 consecutive victories, and they are 6-0 in the Big Ten. Still looking to sniff the roses, and they've got a good chance. And the Purdue Boilermakers already out on the surface, coming in from West Lafayette last night. Identical mark, 7-2, 6-0 in the conference, ranked 16th by AP this week. Welcome back. Al Michaels joined now by Ara Parsegian. Ara, we spent a whole lot of time in the pregame show talking about the offensive weapons, but let's go to coaching cliche number 703. Defense wins for you. What about the defenses of these two teams?
Well, Al, I'll tell you, it's very natural for everyone to expect an offensive explosion with Mark Herrmann around. But Big D, defense is the key. And as Bo Schembechler said, the coach of the Wolverines, that the team that plays the best defense will win this football game. That comes from a guy that led the nation in the 70s, the decade of the 70s in defense. He's taken the Wolverines to #1 in defense. They've shut out in the conference this year. They've shut out their last 2 opponents, haven't had a score in the last 10 quarters. Purdue's statistics are a little different. They're very interesting in a sense. They're #1 against the rush, but dead last against the pass. But there may be a reason for that because Herrmann has blown teams out, forced teams to play catch-up. But in scoring defense, Purdue is not bad. They've only given 17 points a game.
The matchup is a most interesting one. Purdue coming in to take on Michigan in Ann Arbor. And we'll be back with a kickoff right after this message.
Hey, here's a guy who's turning coal into gas. Watch. Wow, that's a good way to use coal. It's called coal gasification, and Texaco has developed a special process to do it. Right now, Texaco is working with other companies on an even larger demonstration plant. By making gas from coal, Texaco will save enough crude oil to make more heating oil and more gasoline. Texaco's coal gasification, one more way we're working to keep your trust.
Alcoa can't wait. Keeping our country beautiful and saving energy. 2 good reasons why Alcoa supports aluminum can collections. Recycling saves 95% of the energy needed to make new metal from bauxite. Today, 1 out of 4 aluminum cans is recycled and used again. Tomorrow, maybe 1 out of 3. Someday, maybe every one of them. We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
You're looking at one of the best-known insurance signs, the fire hat of Fireman's Fund. But for the best deal, you should also know the sign of the man who sells our insurance. It's oval, with an I, for your independent insurance agent. Independent because he represents not just Fireman's Fund, but many companies. So for the right insurance at the right price, sign up with your independent agent. He serves you first. In the yellow pages, Fireman's Fund Insurance Companies.
Purdue winning the toss, and they have elected to receive the Michigan Wolverines. To kick it off, that is Ali Haji Sheikh, who was born here in Michigan, grew up in Minnesota and in Arlington, Texas. His dad a professor at UT Arlington. Haji Sheikh kicking off to Purdue with Jimmy Smith Number 21 back deep. The kick going in the direction of Bryant at the 4-yard line, and Steve Bryant to the 20, to the 25, and hurdles his way up to the 30-yard line. So the Boilermakers coming out for the first time offensively. Mark Herrmann, the quarterback. Jimmy Smith has done a fine job, the sophomore from Illinois. John Macon, the steady fullback from Marion, Indiana. Steve Bryant has been improving steadily, has caught 41 passes. Bart Burrell is the split end, 87. And we'll be taking a look, I'm sure, off times today at his other receiver, Dave Young, number 80, the tight end on the left side. On first down, Herrmann from the 30 to Bryant, out at the 42, to the 45, and to the 49-yard line. Steve Bryant. Brian Carpenter made the stop on the play. An immediate first down for Purdue.
Bryant is a dangerous receiver. They come right out to show you what Herrmann is capable of, and we may see a lot of it this afternoon. Just a straight button hook. Bryant is very dangerous after he gets the ball, a super runner.
Boilermakers at their own 49-yard line. Bryant this time is split to the right side. Herrmann looks that way, then goes over the middle, dumping one to his back, Macon, who gets into Michigan territory and is tackled at the 46-yard line. Pickup of about 5. Up front, Claiborne Field starts at left tackle. Tim Hull, 57, is the left guard. They've got Pete Quinn out of Indianapolis. Ray Gunner, 236-pounder at right guard. Gillespie is 6'6" and 268. And there is the nation's leading receiver, Dave Young, the tight end. Young has caught 53 this year. Second down, 5. Purdue at the Michigan 46-yard line as Smith gets racked up at the line of scrimmage. The Wolverines, who have not allowed a point in 2.5 games, have Owens and Thompson, the outside backers, the 3 down linemen, Turgovac, Shaw, and Caraway. The inside linebackers, Herrmann and Canavitos, the team's leading tackler. Bostic, Carpenter, Body, and Jackson are the secondary. Third down, 4. And Purdue, as they will do from time to time, operating now from the shotgun. It's a long 4 as Herrmann has good protection. Then throws complete to the 38 with a flag going down. Keith Bostic was wrapping up Dave Young at that point. Young made the catch anyway. And if it's defensive interference, it will be a first down. And it is.
Michigan, for the first time, Al, went to a 6-back defense. A defense that's been devised to try to stop Herrmann by inserting 2 defensive secondary men, taking out a lineman and 1 linebacker. And Herrmann still hit Young, who Bo Schembechler thinks Bostic, number 13, you see crossing here, can stay with, who's got great speed. He's almost there, but his left hand misses the ball, and they do complete it. We'll see more of that as this game progresses.
First down, Purdue at the 38-yard line. Macon slicing over the right side, gets to the 34. Young, by catching that pass on the last play, has now caught a pass in 40 consecutive games. The Harold Carmichael of college football. Pretty good streak going.
Now this is down and distance here, which is tough here as far as going into the 6-back defense. Bo is staying out of it. They made 4 yards on the first play.
Second down and 5. Herrmann escapes pressure, finds Smith at the 30-yard line, and he gets a few more to about the 27, and it should be a first down. Marion Body ran him out of bounds. Caraway put the pressure that time on Mark Herrmann, who was able to sidestep him.
Well, Herrmann made a very good move, escaping the possibility of a sack. Caraway came in and looked like he might have him for negative yardage, but Herrmann does not have the great running ability, but he certainly avoided the tackler that time.
As you can see, the offensive leaders, Nebraska a running team, Brigham Young a passing team, Oklahoma was third a running team, basically, and Purdue an air team, 4th in the nation. First and 10 from the 26-yard line. Smith, the hole closes quickly at the 25-yard line. Gain of 1.
Okay, there you see now the substitutions coming in. Jim Young elected to go to the wishbone that time, trying to cause confusion in the secondary coverage of Michigan. Now Michigan counters because only 1 yard was made with a 6-back defense. Let's see how it works this time.
Second down and 9. So the wheel's spinning for the 2 coaches.
It sure is.
One the teacher, the other the pupil. Jim Young at Purdue coached under Schembechler for 9 years. Second down, 9. Herrmann dumping it for Smith, who's wide open. And Smith takes a real shot at the 20-yard line by Andy Canavino, number 41. Smith had a lot of room, and Canavino closed the door in a hurry.
Yeah, Smith is a big, strong kid. He's 6 foot 193, and Canavino is the leading tackler. You see Herrmann comes back, everybody's covered. He dumps the ball off to Smith, his left halfback, and watch Canavino come in here and really hit. But Smith, the running back, knocks back the leading tackler, a linebacker who weighs 220 pounds, number 41, knocks him backwards. That is some kind of hit.
Butted him down. Third down and 5. Purdue at the Michigan 21-yard line. Early first quarter, no score. Here they go into the shotgun with trips to the right side. Herrmann pressured and down at the 34-yard line. Mel Owen, 53, gets the sack.
Now there is a great example of what strategy does in preparation of a game. Michigan, using the six-back defense, putting their quick ends to the outside, has stopped and forced Purdue into either a field goal or a punting situation.
They will punt. Their punter, Jim Boucher, who's averaging 36.5 yards a kick, coming out. It's a swirling wind here at Michigan. It would appear right now that Purdue is going into the wind, but Bo Schembechler and his staff has told us don't be deceived. It swirls in the bowl. Purdue, meanwhile, takes a timeout. Boilermakers stop the clock, 10:33 to go. First period at Ann Arbor. Michigan nothing and Purdue nothing. We'll be right back.
Control 6 to base. Looks like this big old hole in the ground is going to be safe for the night. Over.
They come out all beat. It's Miller time.
Miller time. Time to appreciate the difference between a good beer
when it's time to relax
and a great beer.
One beer stands clear.
Miller High Life.
You got the time. We got the beer. Miller beer. Come Miller time. We got the beer.
Falcon Parcel Service in Mountain View, California runs their Chevy Chevette fleet 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So they know Chevette's durable enough to stay in service. To be in any business today, you've got to cover a lot of territory. And that's one of the reasons you'll see Chevy Chevette working all over the country. And starring in the Joey Chitwood Thrill Show, the 1981 Chevy Chevette. One tough son of a gun.
It looked initially as if Purdue would punt, but they called a timeout. Herrmann is still in the game for the Boilermakers, who have it 4th and 16 at the Michigan 32-yard line, and they will be going for it. So Mark Herrmann, lined up in the shotgun, sends Jimmy Smith in motion. Michigan nearly jumping offside, but getting back. Herrmann going to the left side for Young, and nearly intercepted. It's incomplete, and Michigan gets it on the loss of downs. Marion Body was covering on the play. So here come the Wolverines at the 31-yard line. 1st and 10, led by John Wangler. The senior, Stan Edwards, has done a remarkable job, very consistent. Ricks also very consistent. Woolfolk will see plenty of action. Alan Mitchell is one wide receiver, and the other man is the game breaker, Anthony Carter, who's caught 51 passes in his career at Michigan in 2 seasons. Fully a third of those, 17 for touchdowns. First down, Michigan with split backs at the 32-yard line, and they give it to Stan Edwards to the 37-yard line. James Looney made the tackle. Up front, you've got Bubba Paris at 6'6", 270. Powers is 6'3", 258. Lilja, 6'5", 255. They are bulky. Becker's a good one, 6'6", 252. And Moransky is 6'7", 274. You've got a basketball team up front with Betts the tight end.
Moransky is 300 pounds. Bo told me yesterday.
Oof. Second down and 6, just outside the 36. As the Wolverines this time operate from the eye. And Lawrence Ricks is stopped after a minimal gain. Ricks, a sophomore from Barberton, Ohio. The Purdue defense, and they need a good outing today. That could be the key to this one. Clark is probably their best lineman. Not probably, let's say definitely. 94. Kingsbury, Fry, Marks, and Looney, 59, is the team's leading tackler. Kay, Williams, Seneff, and McKinney. McKinney, the free safety, 34. That's your secondary. Third down, 4. No score. Early first quarter. Michigan in its own 37-yard line. Fake to Ricks. Wangler to the air. Has Carter. Flag is thrown. Carter gets into Purdue territory and is run out of bounds at the 44-yard line with a marker down. Tim Seneff made the stop.
There's no question about it. It was an audible. The line of scrimmage. He caught single coverage on Carter. Bo said he would go to the pass immediately, and of course they're turning down the penalty. Apparently there was interference. But they'll take the gain here. But there's the strategy again. As soon as he caught him one-on-one, Wangler called an audible. Carter, who is absolutely impossible to cover one-on-one, he sees he has the turnout, reads the coverage, and you can see that he makes a good move, finally driven out of the bounds by Seneff, number 43.
So the infraction was academic. Michigan has it first down at the Purdue 44-yard line. 9:37 to go first quarter. No score. Ricks is the I-back. And Ricks has the ball. And he is wrapped up by number 62, Mike Marks, a senior from Chicago.
Purdue does a lot of stunning on the interior, a lot of twisting, which means a guy will veer down and somebody else will cover for him. And as a result, they've done very well, only giving their opponents 108 yards on the ground. But what happens is that they commit their secondary, and they've been burned back there. They have to commit the secondary to stop the run, and they've been hurt on big plays.
Second down and 8. Carter is wide to the right. Mitchell wide left. Pitch it to Ricks, looking for a block. And slices inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. A pickup of about 3. James Looney in on the stop. You'll hear Looney's name a lot today. 59. You'll hear Kingsbury's name a lot. Number 15, the two backers. Talk about Jim Young coaching under Schembechler. There he is, the Purdue mentor in his 4th year at West Lafayette. He was under Schembechler when Bo was the coach at Miami of Ohio, and then came to Michigan with Schembechler before going to Arizona and turning that program around in the early 70s. Third down, 5 from the 39. Off the fake, Wangler sets up, looks for Carter, who gets bumped, no flag, makes the catch anyway at the 17-yard line. Anthony Carter was jostled, no flag went down, it didn't bother him nonetheless.
He runs a perfect route to the inside here, and the ball, we've got to give credit not only to Carter, but also to Wangler. Wangler, look, he doesn't have much distance to get that ball in there. Number 38, Kay, is trying to cover him, and that ball is beautifully thrown by Wangler.
And little doubt he was interfered with, too, as he was pushed just before the ball got there. They never called it.
Yeah.
Never called it, but it doesn't matter. He made the catch anyway. From the 17, it's Ricks. Inside the 15, takes it to the 10. Tim Seneff making the stop, number 43.
This is a beautiful trap on this play. It's what we used to call a bootleg. We reverse pivot. You watch inside the fullback fakes. The right tackle comes to pull. That's number 75. And you see the hole that's opened up. That was Bubba Paris coming across to about 270. Not too bad a trapper.
At the 10, second down, 4. Edwards the fullback, Ricks the tailback. They come out of the I. And on 2nd and 4, they give it to Edwards. Puts his head down, goes through the middle, and is close to the first down. I think he's got it. Bo Schembechler sending in the plays, waiting for the call now from the press box, and in it comes with the tight end Betts.
On the other side of the field, when Jim Young has Herrmann in there the last 5 games, he has allowed Herrmann to call all of his plays, and they've been just absolutely sensational with it. Let's see what happens here.
First down goal. Michigan from the 5. Edwards. They stand him up at about the 2.5. Second down and goal.
Number 59, James Looney, here is the leading tackler on this football team. He fills the hole very nicely, strands up Edwards, He gets some help, some supporting defensive personnel, and they drive him back. Good defense.
Ball spotted just inside the 3-yard line. 6 minutes and 28 seconds to play in the first quarter. No score. Michigan trying to punch it in on a drive that started at their own 32-yard line. 2nd and goal. Edwards again, and he's over for the touchdown. Edwards gets into the end zone, and he followed Kurt Becker, number 65, the great left guard. We were here 3 weeks ago against Illinois. Becker kept leading the way time after time, and he picks up where he left off.
Watch here that Edwards, number 32, comes leading the play. Becker, with Edwards carrying the ball. It was a well-executed play, well-executed drive.
Becker's block paving the way. Ali Haji Sheikh to attempt the extra point. There's a marker down. The kick was good, but there's a penalty flag down. Offside is the call against Purdue. They'll assess it on the kickoff. 6:13. Let's see. Well, we assume they will assess it on the kickoff. What the official is doing right now, Akko Korts is saying to Michigan, at least giving them the option as he discusses it with Hewlett, do you want the penalty? It would go half the distance to the goal line. You might want to try for 2, but they say no. They'll take the 1. 6:13 to go first quarter. Michigan 7 and Purdue nothing.
In business, you've got enough problems. That's why I've got a Lanier No Problem typewriter. Now, no problem with my letters.
It's letter perfect.
No problem with math.
It figures.
No problem sorting records.
It files and never forgets. Even does line drawing.
In business, it's nice to have no problems.
It's nice to have a Lanier No Problem typewriter.
Lanier, it does more than just type.
That's Kathy Willis. She teaches at our school. I bet she's worried now about that problem dandruff of hers. I wish she'd ask me.
Mr. Owens, what shampoo do you think?
Ever tried Tegrin?
Can it really help my itching and flaking?
Well, in a national survey, 3 out of 4 dermatologists judged the medicated ingredient in Tegrin effective in fighting even problem dandruff.
I'll give it a test.
How's that dandruff problem?
I'll give Tegrin an A+, Mr. Owens.
Prove it to yourself. Tegrin works.
America's taxpayers are demanding accountability in public institutions. Nowhere is accountability more evident than in high school activities which involve half the students of most schools at less than 1% of the school budget. That's the best bargain in education.
Michigan lineman on your left, number 65 is Becker. Watch him come across, put his helmet on number 59 Looney, deflect him out of the way, and Edwards gets leverage and crosses the goal line for the first touchdown.
The Wolverines of Michigan marching in for the score, 7-0. 6:13 to go in the quarter. Hodges' kick is a beauty. Non-returnable. First down, Purdue at the 20. Michigan taking over at its own 32-yard line, chewing up 4:17. 10 plays to do it. A couple of key passes to Anthony Carter, keeping that drive moving. Edwards took it in, and the Wolverines on top by 7. All right, Purdue, which moved with relative effectiveness on its first drive. Jim Young, fourth-year head coach of the Boilermakers, looking on as Mark Herrmann gives the ball to number 13, Benny McCall, who stopped out of the 22-yard line. McCall would be the third leading back in terms of rushing yardage this season. He's picked up 320, a senior from Chicago, 6 feet even, 205-pounder. Second down 8.
Okay, no sophistication on the defense this time by Michigan. They're staying with their base rather than going with the 6-back defense.
Now they line up in the wishbone, and they break that now. Bryant going far to the right, out of the shotgun to Smith. Wrapped up near the line of scrimmage. Mel Owen made sure he had no room.
I'll tell you, Mel Owens played that screen absolutely perfect. He was out there alone. He shed the blockers and came up from the inside Otherwise, that's going to be a big play. It was a good call, but Owens, the defensive end, I think did a sensational job on that play.
3rd down and 8. Make it 9. Loss of 1 on the play. Out of the shotgun. Herrmann to Smith, but he slips down. It rained here Thursday night and early Friday morning. This surface is a little slicker than AstroTurf. This is tartan turf, as is the case in Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh and at Kansas City. It's a little slicker, not as grainy as AstroTurf, and you'll see that oft times. The field is still slick despite the fact it hasn't rained in a day and a half. Jim Boucher in the punt, averaging 36.5 yards. A low snap, but he gets it away, and it's a low line drive angled kick that's caught by one of the Michigan assistant coaches in front of the bench, and they'll spot it at the 50-yard line. Good field position for Michigan. Coming up this Monday in the AFC West on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the Oakland Raiders, who are 7-3 with Jim Plunkett at the helm, against the Seattle Seahawks with a mark of 4-6 from the Kingdome at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The matchup this week on Monday Night Football. First down, Michigan at the 50-yard line. They lead 7-0, 4:53 to go in the quarter. Edwards, big hole through the middle, first down to the 37-yard line. Marcus McKinney, number 34, the last line of defense, was the man who got him.
Well, Jim Young told me yesterday he feared the Michigan offensive line. You see the left guard, John Powers, pulling to trap number 67. Puts on a good trap on number 94, Calvin Clark. And you see Edwards pop through there for a big gainer and a first down.
From the 37-yard line, Ricks gets to the 31 for a gain of 6.
They're doing a job of trapping in there. Bubba Paris, number 75, the right tackle, came across and trapped that time, and it was that little tackle trap to the inside, and they're really moving the ball.
Kingsbury made the stop. This is basic Michigan. They're not going to big play it to death, but they do have the man who can do it in Carter.
And they're doing more trapping than they normally do.
2nd down and 4. They give it to Ricks. Inside the 25, and another Wolverine first down. On a drive that started at the 50, they're now at the Purdue 21. Robert Williams, the corner, number 36, made the stop.
He reads this beautifully. Watch all the defensive pursuit go to the left. Then Rich will go against the grain and cuts it clear back to the backside, finds the daylight, and the tailback option play, running play. You just find any kind of seam, and certainly he found it that time.
Fred Brockington comes in to replace Mitchell as a wide receiver, split to the left on first down. Wangler looking toward Carter. He's got Anthony in the end zone for the touchdown. Lull him to sleep with 3 running plays and then go find number 1, Anthony Carter. He's caught 54 passes now in his career, 18 for touchdowns, 33%.
The strategy is just fantastic. They ran the ball, and soon as Purdue started to come up to stop it, boom, they hit Carter for the touchdown. Perfectly executed. Good thinking on the part of certainly the Michigan Wolverines, and Bo Schembechler has his team really ready.
The 11th touchdown catch of the season for the sophomore Carter. Haji Sheik to attempt the extra point. He hasn't missed this season. He's 34 out of 34. Hewlett to hold, and this kick is blocked. So for the first time this season, Haji Sheik is unsuccessful. But Michigan has rolled down the field a second time, and with 3:35 to go in the quarter, lead 13-0.
Here's an interesting view. We've got 2 or 3 replays for you to look at. He fakes to the inside. The secondary just bites the bait momentarily, and you see Carter here just so quick, read the coverage beautifully, broke to the outside. Wangler does a great job. Now watch right here. He'll drive up the field to the inside like he's going to go to the post. Gives a little look to the inside, breaks to the outside. Again, we've got to give credit to the passer, Wangler. The ball is right there. Senef, number 43, cannot get to it. And look at here at Wangler's reaction on his touchdown pass. Number 5 right here. All right. Yeah. I like it.
Tell you one thing about wearing number 1, it helps everybody spot you. The fans, the quarterback, they know who you are. It's a good number to give a man you'd like to hype someday for the Heisman Trophy or at least All-America honors. Carter is just a sophomore.
Well, don't get too excited, too, on this ball game. You take a guy like Mark Herrmann with his capabilities. They can score. They got big gainers. They're a big play team. And certainly if I was on the sideline with Bo, I'd be pleased with what happened. But I know that you've got a fantastic arm in Mark Herrmann.
There he is, the man they call AC, old Pelican legs. He's not that big, and he's rather thin. But can he move?
I'd hate to cover that guy one-on-one.
Ozzie Sheep will be kicking off for Michigan. Wolverines, when they began the season, they were stumbling. Had a squeak by Northwestern in their opener. Then came the 2 losses, and people around here were saying, well, I guess Bo just doesn't have a very good team this year.
Well, you know, Al, we've got to face it. They're 2 plays away from being undefeated, a 51-yard field goal, and, of course, a 1 play in the South Carolina game. Here we go.
Line drive kick. Smith will not come out with it.
As we were saying, you know, they could very easily have won the 2 games that they lost. There were 2 crucial plays. Notre Dame, of course, with virtually no time on the clock, kicked a 51-yard field goal into the wind to beat them when they were leading by a point. In the South Carolina game, Bo elected to gamble at the 29-yard line and ultimately lost the ball game. But they have really come on. They're looking sharp in the first quarter here.
The biggest improvement has been made by the Michigan defensive unit, which was suspect earlier and has pitched 2 straight shutouts, and they've not been scored upon since the first half of the Illinois game on October the 25th. Purdue on first down. Macon starts this drive with a 1-yard gain. Out to the 21-yard line. Andy Canavino, number 41, making the tackle.
Well, here they come. Here comes the 6-back offense. Jim Young told me, he says, we've got to make 4 yards in the first running play so we don't allow Michigan to do all these fancy defensive things. Well, they didn't do it, and here comes the 6-back defense.
2nd down and 9. Bryant split wide to the left. Burl wide right. Herrmann looking toward Burl on an out pattern. Burl dives and can't make the catch. Number 87. You talk about hand in glove with Herrmann and Burl. They have played together since junior high in Carmel, Indiana, since the 7th grade. Mark Herrmann, 6'4", 190. They'll love him in the pros. There's no question about that.
Oh, he's got a great arm. I'll tell you, just watching him in film yesterday, I'll tell you, you can't help but be impressed.
3rd down 9. Purdue from its own 21. 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Herrmann, down he goes at the 10. It all caved in a hurry, led by Mel Owens, 53, who's had some quarters. Mel Owens.
Well, here you are with a quick defensive ends. Bo was talking about this yesterday. He's going to put Owens and Thompson in here so he has the quick speed on the outside. You see number 99, Thompson, coming in, forcing. Owens coming in from the left side. And there's the sack. The best thing in the world to stop a great passer.
Jim Boucher to kick into the wind. Good one. Carter at his own 46. Slips a tackle. Turns the corner and then runs out of room at the 46 of Purdue. So again, Michigan set up in good shape. They've marched down twice. 2:14 to go first period. 13-0 Wolverines.
A bright red fire truck, a blue calliope, a yellow moon, a pink balloon, a golden Dixie jamboree. Yes, America's true colors come through on GE.
GE TV brings you America's true colors, vivid and lifelike. And with GE's special VIR2 circuit, the color is automatically adjusted.
Yes, America.
Michigan with it, first down from the 46-yard line. It's Edwards who carries over the right side, picks up about 2 to the 44. And it will be 2nd down and 8. The Wolverines, their 3rd possession. They've scored twice, lead 13-0, under 2 minutes to go first quarter in Ann Arbor.
Critical series for the Boilermakers. I don't think they can afford another touchdown here in this by the Wolverines to take them out to 20-0.
Second down, 8. Fake to Ricks. For Mitchell, incomplete. Alan Mitchell, number 30, was covered on the play as Calvin Clark put the pressure that time on John Wangler. Robert Williams, the defensive back in the coverage. Third down and 8.
Now looking down, you've got to credit the Michigan coaches for really bringing this team along. They're much improved over the earlier part of the season, and they're throwing the ball better than any Michigan team has in a long time.
Carter is split wide to the left on 3rd and 8. Wangler not looking toward Carter, but instead going down the near side and incomplete, intended for Freddie Brockington. Robert Williams was covering on the play. You figure if you're going to pay too much attention to Carter, you got to look to your other receivers from time to time. So on this series, he goes from Mitchell first and then Brockington here.
He has great jumping ability. Look at this. Ball deflected off the helmet of Williams. Brockington made a great effort for it.
Time is called. We have a Boilermaker shaken up. It is Robert Williams who was covering on the last play, tardy in leaving the field. So timeout called by the officials, as Williams needs some assistance with 1:31 to play in the first quarter. Overcast day. Not terribly windy. A breeze blowing in out of the northwest at this particular moment. Temperature in the low 40s.
Good football day. Crisp. As you pointed out, the field is just a little bit slippery as a result of the wetness and the rain that had fallen.
Don Bracken is in to kick for Michigan. Wolverines, you remember last year, they had a terrible time with their kicking game, both punting and place kicking. Went out, recruited Bracken, found him in Thermopolis, Wyoming. He's a freshman, and he's averaging 44.3. So Bo came up with a gem. Scott Craig is back, single safety, a wobbly kick. Craig calls for the fair catch and takes it at the 13-yard line. So Herrmann leaves the Boilermaker offense from that spot. 1st and 10 from the 13. 1:25 to go first quarter. Michigan 13 and Purdue nothing.
A bright red fire truck, a blue calliope, a yellow moon, a pink balloon, a golden Dixie jamboree. Yes, America's true colors come through on GE.
GE TV brings you America's true colors, vivid and lifelike. And with GE Special VIR2 circuit, the color is automatically adjusted.
Yes, America's true colors come through on GE. GE, we bring good things to life.
Goodyear, Arriva. Goodyear adds something extra to radials. All-season performance. So radials like Arriva are built for sun, for rain, for snow. Goodyear, Arriva. Arriva is a high-mileage, fuel-efficient, steel-belted radial. Even its footprint tells you it's different. So why buy a conventional radial when you can step up to Goodyear's newest all-season radial? Arriva. Goodyear, quality and innovation.
Two great coaches, two exciting teams, one classic confrontation. Notre Dame and Alabama next on ABC.
1 minute 25 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Boilermakers of Purdue have the ball, but they're also down 13-0. But they have just stopped Michigan for the first time today. Mark Herrmann out of the shotgun from the 13-yard line. 1st and 10. In motion goes Smith. Herrmann under some pressure, but throws to Young, the tight end, who makes his second catch of the day and gets out to the 20-yard line. Marion Body made the stop. Young, number 80, leads the nation in pass reception, which is odd for a tight end. He's caught a TD pass in each of his last 6 games. 6'6", 241, a senior. As you can see, Purdue has the 1st, 2nd, and 19th leading receivers in the country in terms of balls caught. 2nd down and a long 3. Swing it out to Benny McCall, and he gets to the 24-yard line and a 1st down. This program an exclusive of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds here to allow our local stations to identify themselves. 39 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Boilermakers trailing 13-0. First down Purdue at its own 25-yard line. The wishbone look this time. Let's see if they break it. They don't. They operate from it. They give it to Aiken behind some blocking. Goes to the short side of the field and picks up 6 to the 31, where Tony Jackson, number 37, makes the stop.
You may wonder again why they line up in that wishbone, being a passing team. Jim Young just figured that the Wolverines would be deployed in a pass defensive type of alignment, which is vulnerable to the run. And of course, this time you can see that they picked up 6 yards on the play.
The quarter has expired, so the first 15 minutes are in the books at Ann Arbor. Score after 1, Michigan 13, Purdue nothing.
Introducing Hertz economy fares for every day of the week. Now you don't have to give up traveling like a winner to save money.
You mean I can get a good rate without going to those companies off the airport?
Right. Go with number 1. A Ford Escort is as little as $29.99 weekdays, $19.99 weekends, or $119 a week. You save on larger cars, too, so call Hertz.
Where us winners rent.
Just say hello to a brand new world. It's just outside your door.
Now that Pan Am and National are one, you can fly Pan Am to 25 great U.S. cities like Washington, D.C., Las Vegas, and New Orleans, and get the kind of international service that's made us famous. Say hello to Pan Am.
Say hello to a brand new world. Say hello to Pan Am.
I'm Mike Cobreaker, State Farm Agent, Carlisle, Illinois, speaking for thousands of State Farm agents across the country. One of the many reasons people keep coming to State Farm Insurance is because we service what we sell, and we do it on a personal, one-to-one basis. Service is what State Farm is all about, and service is what State Farm agents are all about.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Second quarter at Ann Arbor, Michigan. Al Michaels and Ara Parseghian with you. Michigan leading Purdue 13-0. Purdue has its second down 5 at its own 31-yard line. Mark Herrmann back to throw. Incomplete, intended for Young, and that's something you won't see very often. The ball is right there.
I'll tell you, they run this route so often. The split end comes up the field. Here it is, Young. He crosses underneath. And then he gets 3 people lined up. As you see the back coming across to the inside, Young crossing, and the split end going up the field. We'll see that time and time again. And Herrmann has hit it just, I don't know how many times during the course of this 1980 season.
Herrmann thus far, 9 out of 12, but for only 58 yards. Third down and 4. They go to 6 defensive backs, swing it to Smith on the reverse. To the 35, has a first down, and pushed back from the 38-yard line. They'll give him forward progress to that point as Gerald Diggs led the charge, number 29.
Good call by Herrmann. Little Sally, as we call it, Statue of Liberty, whatever you want to call it, comes back into the pocket. Smith will fake block, then come back, and Herrmann slips in the ball. He gets outside the containment. Number 41, Canavino, just misses him. Number 13, Bostic, comes up, grabs a piece of him, and the rest of the pursuit catches up.
Boilermakers out at their own 39. First and 10 from the wishbone now. The ball out to the 47-yard line.
Now Purdue is doing what they want to do. They want to make at least 4 yards on that first down play. And on this drive, they've done it every time.
Gain of a little more than 7. Second down, short 3. As you can see, the Boilermakers have had a tough time in this stadium, as have most visiting teams. It's a tough place to win. Second down, a short 3 from the wishbone. Aiken. Close to a first down, out to the 48-yard line. Mel Owens and Winfred Caraway converge on the stop. Take a look now at the numbers through 1.
Well, you can see the first downs are 4 to 6, the yardage and passing 58. That's doing very well for Michigan in controlling the Mark Herrmann But the total yards, as you see, 47 to 120. And the big thing, of course, is the score is 13 for Michigan. That's the biggest stat, and nothing for the Boilermakers.
Meanwhile, Purdue has just picked up a first down after the measurement.
I'd also like to point out, Al, is that this wishbone that Purdue is showing, a tight attack with all backs in there, is something completely new. Michigan did not know it was coming. It's a surprise, and thus far they've run successfully with it.
They break the ball and go to the shotgun this time. Trips to the right on first down from the 49-yard line. Herrmann, pressured by Cannavino, gets it away, man wide open, Burrell, the 45 and to the 35 of Michigan. Brian Carpenter came over to make the tackle along with Marion Body.
It appeared that somebody missed the coverage because Burrell was wide open. Nobody was around him. The rest of the receivers were well covered, and he came across the field wide open. You see Herrmann here from a ground level shot, looking across the field. He had plenty of time, rolls out to his right a little bit. Now he finds Burrell crossing right across the middle. And he was wide open. And look at him put it right on the numbers. And I mean, when we say that, that's literally what happens.
First down Purdue from the 34. Herrmann to Young, and he steps out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Took the pass right at the sideline. There was no Michigan defender within 5 yards of him, but his momentum takes him across the chalk.
That's that same crossing pattern. Young across, Burrell down and into the curl hook area, and then, of course, the halfback will slow block and check through against the zone. It is a tough pattern to cover, particularly when you got a guy like Herrmann throwing it.
Gain of just 3, however, and it's second down and 7. Herrmann to the shotgun again. 3 receivers to the left side. And Herrmann finds Burrell at the 25-yard line. Dropped at the 23 and close to a first down and should have it. Keith Bostic made the tackle.
He's throwing underneath the zone. They're driving deep. The Michigan defenders are dropping out quite deep. And, of course, he's throwing underneath it with success.
Very imaginative attack as we look at it, Ara. They do a lot of different things with their 3 receivers. The different formations that Young has utilized.
Well, they read the coverage on the move, and they alter their routes according to what the defense is. They do this very well.
Smith takes it to the 17. Gain of 6. It will be second down and 4. Cannavino and Jackson combined for the stop.
There's that wishbone again, a little counterplay, hands it back to the halfback. Just turns. They said they had worked on this. I asked Jim about it. I said, Jim, you just put this in for this week? He says, no, we've been working on it for about 3 or 4 weeks in anticipation of using it in this game.
Second down 4 at the 17. Michigan leading 13-0 early second quarter. A call to the 13-yard line. Near a first down as Gergash makes the tackle.
See Cannavino here, number 41, the leading tackler for the Wolverines, slides across, avoiding blockers, steps across and finally gets over and gets him a call on the tackle. Not until he gets a first down, I think, or awful close to it.
We'll find out. We have the measurement. It is. First down Purdue. So the Boilermakers in need of a score, trailing 13-0. A very effective march.
Well, it gets tough down in here. Let's see whether Herrmann stays on the ground or goes to the air.
First look they give him is the wishbone. And they run from it, or they'll pass from it, as is the case. Looks for Burrell, and it is intercepted in the end zone. Tony Jackson stepping in front of the intended receiver, Bart Burrell, to make the interception.
What a play by Jackson, number 37. Here you see Herrmann will fake a run action. He fakes the ball, then he turns back, and it looked like he was open here. But watch Jackson, number 37, cover a lot of ground, step in front of Burrell, take the ball away from him. If they'd come down with the ball together, it would have belonged to the offense.
Michigan thwarting the Purdue drive. They'll have it at their 20 with 11:40 to go to the half. 13-0 Michigan.
Yes, honey, I'll have a good dinner. I gotta go.
Tough case, huh?
Tough ain't the word.
Perez is back from Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'm starving.
Why Kentucky Fried Chicken?
It's a hard case. My men deserve a fresh hot meal.
Great chicken.
Great price.
Anything else?
His wife will kill him if he doesn't eat right.
It's so nice, nice to feel so good about a meal, so good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Chevy Truck announces a leap ahead in fuel economy. A leap ahead with a better EPA estimated gas mileage rating than any V8 truck. And better than any imported or domestic V8 car. What's more, Chevy is a leap ahead with the best overall 6-cylinder truck mileage. Chevy has an unbeaten city estimate and a better highway rating than any full-size truck. Best V8 gas mileage, best overall 6-cylinder mileage. Chevy's new special economy truck. Chevy Trucks. Built tough. Built for economy.
The Purdue Boilermakers going to the chalkboard here. They've got to figure out something, as Michigan has just taken the ball away. 1st and 10, Wolverines at their own 20-yard line. Michigan on top, 13-0. 11:40 to go, first half. Ricks for 3. 2nd and 7. Calvin Clark, 94, makes the tackle.
Well, that's the basic Michigan offense, the tailback action. They'll muscle you down the field, and if you come up to try to support, look out for Carter. And that's the same thing that the Purdue Boilermakers and Coach Young was concerned about. So he's trying to camouflage his defense, make them think that they're doubling on Carter when they're not. And thus far, they've had trouble stopping the Michigan team.
2nd down and 7 from the 23. Ricks with a reverse to Carter. Anthony looking for room to the 25, Carter to the 30, and out to the 40-yard line.
Well, he said that Carter gets at least 123 yards in every game, and he's off to it again. Here he is just on a little reverse, wide reverse. Carter comes across. Rick slips him the ball, and when he gets out in the open, he is really tough. Bill Kay, number 38, the defensive wide side halfback for Purdue, finally brings him down, but not until 17 yards have been put. Here we go again.
Edwards gets out to the 41-yard line. Carter over on the Michigan sideline. He did a lot of that by himself. That was not a very well-disguised reverse. You can see that set up very, very early in the play, but AC still picks up 17 on it.
There he goes back in again.
Second down, 9, Michigan at its own 41-yard line. Michigan and Purdue both unbeaten, along with Ohio State, in the Big Ten Conference, each 6-0 at the start of play today. 2nd and 9. Big draw. Looks for Carter. And Anthony loses the ball, and the Boilermakers get it at the 49-yard line.
Well, he was trying to run the football. I think that Wangler again audibilizes. He got single coverage. The strong safety tries to come over and try to help Seneff. He just runs a little turnout here. Now, instead of taking the yardage that he has such great confidence in his running ability. He tries to shake a couple of tacklers. You see Kay comes in and puts his helmet on the ball, shakes it loose, and Purdue is recovered.
Mike Marks, number 62, gathered it in at the Michigan 49-yard line. So the Boilermakers trying to come back. From the 49 on first down, Herrmann to Burl. Burl is dropped at the 38-yard line. That'll be a first down. Pickup of 11. Marion Body, number 3, made the stop.
All Burl did was run right straight up the field like he was going to go for a home run. And as soon as Body backed off, Burl just turned and curl hooked, and Herrmann found him, and bingo, right in there.
First down Purdue at the Michigan 38-yard line. Smith, 35, 30, and that's close to a first down as Tony Jackson makes the stop. Keith Bostic is helping out. Smith escaping the near tackle as he got untracked on that play and turns it into a gain of 10. They'll measure.
Michigan blitzed on the play, but they missed. They missed Smith in the secondary. couldn't quite tell who it was. I think it was Cannavino that was blitzing in there, but he just missed.
First down, Boilermakers. They've been moving the ball quite effectively, but have been unable to punch it in.
The last two series they've moved the ball effectively, and of course Jackson made that great interception in the end zone when it looked like Purdue was going to threaten to score. And now it's been, what, 12, 13 quarters that no one has scored against Michigan.
First down, Macon and McCall are the running backs, but Herrmann's going to go to the air. For Young, the tight end, and that's intercepted at the 21 by Body. Marion Body on the tip pass through the hands of Young, and Michigan gets it back again.
What great reaction by Body. They took that ball almost off the surface. Here Herrmann comes back, and he's got his favorite receiver, number 80, Young. Ball looks like it's thrown a little bit high because it goes through the hands right here of Young. Well, he had to turn back for it slightly. Now watch Body take this right off of the 20-yard line practically. Lays out. What a great interception.
Marion Body from Detroit, the junior. So Michigan on first down. Edwards, big hole out to the 38-yard line. And a Wolverine first down against what has to be a relatively dispirited Purdue team at this moment.
Really, they've had two great opportunities, and there's been two sensational interceptions. And here comes Edwards storming back. I'll tell you, he's done a great job. He played running back last year. They moved him over to fullback, and he's become an outstanding blocker, having won the award last week for his blocking, which is a tribute to a guy that has run most of the time.
First and 10 Michigan at the Wolverine 39-yard line. This is Ricks. Stop for a loss of 1.
They're trying to trap again with number 75, Bubba Paris, from the left side, coming to the right. But there was so much penetration by Purdue that it just didn't work. As a matter of fact, they lost a yard.
Well, we've seen Edwards and Ricks. Now, keep in mind, they also have another great back in Butch Woolfolk, who has yet to see action. But when Ricks tires a bit, or they want to go for a change of some sort in their ground game, they don't lose anything by going to Woolfolk either, number 24.
Yeah, I don't know. We would have expected to see him earlier than this, certainly.
Second down, 11 at the 38-yard line. Delay of game.
Yep.
That'll cost him 5. Marion Body, who made that last interception, the report from the bench is that he has a bruised thigh.
He was right there.
Ball comes back to the 32.
So he's got some ice.
Yeah, on the left side of his thigh there.
Yep.
I don't know how he did that. He laid out. I didn't think he hit on his side. Might have been from an earlier hit.
After the penalty, second down, 16, Michigan. Ricks takes it back out to the 36-yard line to set up a third down, 13. Paul Hanna, number 96 from Westlake, Ohio, made the stop.
I think it's interesting that Michigan, when they run the sprint draw as they did there, Wangler goes back and he makes like he hasn't given him the ball, and then he fakes throwing to the deep receivers. And it's a little distraction. I'm sure the defense reacts to it some, and you do it often enough, and it's going to pay off.
Butch Woolfolk has come into the game now, number 24 for the first time, but in a passing situation, he's the I-back. Third down, 13 from the 36-yard line. Fake to Woolfolk. Wangler over the middle and hits Woolfolk at the 40-yard line. Considerably shy of the first down, 4th and 8. And they'll kick it away with 6 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Michigan on top, scoring on its first 2 possessions, 13-0.
And Purdue has done very well the last 2 or 3 possessions. Defensively, they've done a good job after those 2 drives that Michigan went for the touchdowns on.
Don Bracken, the freshman kicker, to boot it away. Scott Craig, single safety for Purdue. Rushes on. Low line drive kick. Craig fields on the run. 25 gets to the 30. And a 9-yard run back. They'll spot it at the 34-yard line after a 35-yard kick. 6:28 to go first half at Ann Arbor. Still Michigan 13, Purdue nothing.
Take it easy. You know, I was known for working long and hard during training camp. Why, even after my teammates were asleep, I'd still be out practicing my moves, and that's still important. So I drink light beer from Miller. Light tastes great. It's It's got a third less calories than a regular beer, and the best thing is it's less filling. Because listen, I still train the same way as the old days. Practice, practice, practice.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Hey! You're driving half a car. To prove Haviland Supreme gives cars engine protection up front. I know, but... Well, you should know. It delivered proven protection in punishing state trooper testing. Yeah, but... Where's the rest of my car? Yeah. Here it comes. To prove Texaco's Haviland Supreme delivered improved mileage, too. Upfront protection backed by improved mileage. That's Haviland Supreme. Do me a favor. I know. Prove how good Haviland is in the next county, huh?
More than 2 million fans watched action in the NCAA's Football Division 1AA last season. Membership has grown to 46 teams in 1980, with Eastern Kentucky trying to defend its championship. ABC will cover the title game December 20th from Sacramento, California.
Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. Al Michaels, Ara Parshigian reporting with 6:28 to go in the first half. Michigan on top 13-0. And Purdue has it at the 34-yard line as Herrmann puts it up immediately. And Young can't handle this one. Passed on a little bit behind him, but Dave's had some problems today.
That's unusual for him. A great receiver. Herrmann delivered the ball quickly. And it may have been just a shade behind Young, but his quality of receiver, he doesn't drop him very often. Here comes the six-back attack.
Here's Herrmann's figures against Michigan. 78, of course, he was hurt in the first quarter last year, leading Purdue to an upset win. Second down, 10 from the 34. Smith turning the corner, getting to the 40, first down, and stopped at the 46-yard line.
That's exactly what Bo was concerned with, the vulnerability of that defense against the run, and they got to the corner. Great call by Herrmann. I'm sure he got that information on the sideline when they knew that they would go to the six-back defense. You can see people are walled off. Number 13, Bostic, the strong safety, is blocked out, and Smith gets to the corner and is finally knocked down, but not after a first down.
First down at the 47-yard line. Macon gets a yard.
Okay, let's see if Bo goes with a six-back or not. Yep, he's going to go again. He said they can't run always. Let's see if this is a great game of strategy going on here. It really is. This is the inside of football here. When you get down where both teams have scouted one another for 9 games, and they know what one another is doing.
Evan Cooper and Gerald Diggs are the two extra backs on second down and 9. Shifting from the wishbone to the shotgun. Trips right. Herrmann with a lot of time. There's Young at the 50, makes a juggling catch and holds on there. Short gain. Keith Bostic wrapping him up.
Well, I guarantee you, Michigan coaches will be glad to give him that kind of yardage. You see Young just slow blocks, then breaks a cross, but it's only for about 2 or 3 yards, and Bostic does a job of coming in there, number 13, the strong safety who has great speed, who Bo was convinced can stay with Young. He certainly did that time.
Hot air balloon over Ann Arbor, 105,000 or thereabouts in Michigan Stadium. Looking on as it's third down and 6. The ball just into Michigan territory. That's Young in motion. Herrmann to Bryant. Wrapped up shy of the first down by Marion Body. So they're giving him some room underneath, but not enough for Purdue to pick up the first down.
Well, that's exactly the philosophy that the defense is built on. Go ahead and give them the pass completions, long as it's not the big yardage, and long as, of course, you don't give them the first down. This game has turned into more of a defensive struggle right now.
After Michigan had scored on his first 2 possessions, Jim Boucher to kick. Anthony Carter back to receive for Michigan. A high kick, not that much distance, and an angled kick that goes out of bounds at the 29-yard line. So a poor boot that time by Boucher. 17 yards. 4:03 to go to the half. 13-0 Wolverines.
Look out. It's collision crossing. Command control collision crossing. Real slotless racing. Swerving. Passing. Changing lanes. Even force the other guy up the bridge. Slow him down.
And when you turn off the lights, Tyco's night glow makes collision crossing even more dangerous. Don't crash. Win. Command Control Collision Crossing. From Tyco, of course.
Sony introduces the art of watching television. The Sony Betamax lets you record and see what you want, when you want, to summon into your home a world of wonder. And a remarkable feature called Beta Scan lets you scan forward and reverse to quickly find any single image. Betamax transforms the act of watching television into the art of watching television.
Your show is about to begin.
Sony, the one and only.
The most exciting and diverse collection of international championships and events from around the globe. ABC's Wide World of Sports returns December 13th.
John Wangler, after some consultation with Bo Schembechler, to lead Michigan on this drive, which begins at their own 29-yard line, 1st and 10.
Well, 4:03 to go. I'm wondering whether or not he wants to get fancy and try to get on the board again.
Not initially, anyway. Stan Edwards picks up 3. Paul Hanna, 96, made the stop. 2nd and 7. Bo Schembechler sending in the next play. Schembechler, well, he got one of his initial jobs under Ara Parsegian at Northwestern. Was it 1958?
That's right. That's right. No, 1956 and 7.
2nd down, 7 from the 32-yard line. Woolfolk out to the 34-yard line.
I think if Woolfolk would have read to the backside that time, he would have found a pretty good sizable opening that he'd been able to pick up some good yardage. But he read it inside, and Purdue stopped him.
3rd and 5. You knew Schembechler would be one of the all-time greats, didn't you, when you hired him?
Well, you know, he's another Miami graduate, the cradle of coaches. There's many greats that have come out of there.
You guys just like to stick together. The old Redskins, huh?
Right on.
3rd down and 5. Wangler stumbles, slips, and down to the 26-yard line is where they're going to spot it. Paul Hanna made sure there was no further advancement. Number 96, his knee went down on the turf, which constitutes the end of the play. College football, 2:40 remaining in the first half. In the kick, Don Bracken, freshman from Thermopolis, Wyoming. Scott Craig, single safety back for Purdue. See if the charge is on for the Boilermakers. Here they come. And a wobbly bad kick that's angled out of bounds. And we'll see where they'll line it up. It will be in Michigan territory. And they put it down at the 48-yard line. Marcus McKinney put the pressure on Brackett that time. That's the first half of our doubleheader. Coming up from Legion Field in Birmingham, the Irish 7-0-1. The Tide 8-1. Coming up the second half of our NCAA doubleheader. And of course, the bowl bids to be extended at 6 Eastern time. Bill Fleming's in Birmingham, Dave Dials in New York. They'll keep you abreast as the invitations are extended and the bids accepted later today. First down at the 48-yard line. Herrmann intercepted at the 25-yard line by Tony Jackson to the 40 and out of bounds at the 45. So they picked Herrmann 3 times on a pass, this time intended for Steve Bryant.
Oh, what a piece of defensive work. Here's Bryant, number 1. He comes down into the seam, and again, from this vantage point, it looked like he was open. Herrmann throws the ball, and he thinks he's got a big game. Look at Jackson come across, number 37. Perfect timing. He covered a lot of ground, and that's the 3rd interception that Herrmann has thrown this afternoon.
Tony Jackson, number 37. Giving Michigan the ball as Woolfolk on the delay gets out to the 50-yard line. 2 minutes even, and the clock running.
And Michigan with 3 timeouts. That was a golden opportunity again. You know, those were first down situations. 2 of those interceptions were first down situations that at one time when Herrmann had the ball at the 13, and that time when they had it at the 49 with plenty of time.
Squandered a lot of chances in the first half as Purdue. 2nd down 4 from the 50. Michigan using up a lot of the clock. Woolfolk slips down, and it will be third down with 1:25 remaining. The crowd is not too excited about what Michigan is doing at this particular moment. Coming up at halftime, we'll have our Fireman's Fun flashback. Michigan campus, Purdue band and campus, highlights, scores of other games. Right now, Michigan has taken a timeout with 1:15 remaining in the half. It'll be 3rd and 5 when we come back with a score. Michigan 13 and Purdue nothing.
Introducing the new 1981 Monte Carlo. Virtually every inch reshaped, every line resculpted with economical V6 power. A new Monte Carlo. And you'll choose it because you're proud of who you are.
You and Monte Carlo.
A matter of personal pride. 1981 Monte Carlo from Chevrolet.
In business, starting small and thinking big is no problem. With the Lanier No Problem typewriter, you'll have no problem getting typing back faster. No problem adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, growing, and achieving success. Now that calls for the No Problem shared system. A family of No Problem typewriters working together.
Think big. It's no problem.
It does more than just type.
Lanier today, no problem tomorrow.
Schembechler during that timeout conferring with Wangler, and you surmised, Dara, that there might have been a communications problem existing.
I think on the second down, I think that they wanted something that they didn't get it across, and they came over and discussed it there during the timeout period.
3rd down and 4 with the ball at the 50-yard line. Carter is wide left. Wangler off the fake. Throwing over the middle, has Woolfolk. And Woolfolk has a first down to the 43-yard line. Mike Marks made the tackle, and Michigan will run the next play without a huddle.
Well,
2 timeouts left for them.
Well, the clock stops, of course, when the first down, and then it winds up.
It's running now, 1:05 to go. And Wangler looks for Mitchell, has it intercepted at the 31-yard line by Mike Marks, number 62.
First down play again. These teams that, of course, they were trying to hustle and get it in the, either in the field goal position or go for a score. Marks made a great interception. You see, he's trying to throw the ball here to Alan Mitchell. He's open, but look at Marks come over and make a great interception on the play. Co-captain Marks.
So it turns around now as Purdue has it.
Senior from Chicago, Illinois.
1 minute even left in the half. The Boilermakers have 2 timeouts. But they're going to stay on the ground and give it to Smith, and he's racked up. Andy Canavino, 41. Made sure there was no advance.
Well, you know, you've got to start thinking a little bit with Mark Herrmann now. He's thrown 3 interceptions in the first half. You know, if nothing more, it shakes your confidence. As great as he's been, and as great an arm as he has, you know, you're going to say to himself, hey, wait a minute, are they doing something differently, or is it me? He needs to complete a couple to get him going again.
Out of the shotgun now. Clock running with 28 seconds. And we've got a flag.
Flag stop the play.
The umpire called it. Must have been an offensive lineman that picked up his hand on the Purdue offensive line.
West Virginia nothing.
Yeah.
Procedure call against Purdue. Sort of interesting. If you're going to run the clock out, why do you go shotgun? And they weren't taking any time out there. Taking a lot of time getting the play off.
Well, I'm not sure that they were trying to run the clock. I think when he came out and he ran the ball, and then he lined up in the shotgun, whether he's going to throw, they run off the shotgun. They can screen or draw. They do not have great field position. 18 seconds to go on the clock. I don't know. I suppose he'll be content. The clock is running out. He'll run it out now.
It was obvious, I thought, that he was going to try to run the clock out initially. Now he goes back to that formation with Smith.
You're right, Al.
37, yeah. 4 seconds remaining in the half. Our Fireman's Fun flashback at halftime. You'll enjoy it. You're going to take a look at Neil Lomax, who a lot of people are starting to hear about. Portland State quarterback. All they did last week was win it 105-0 over Delaware State. And we're also going to see some highlights of some of the previous Notre Dame Alabama struggles that have been beauties. Tara Parsegian, of course, coached in a couple of those.
Yeah, that's right. Sugar Bowl and Orange Bowl.
Final play of the half. And Herrmann throws incomplete for Benny McCall. So the teams retreat to the dressing rooms as the first half is over at Ann Arbor. And the Michigan Wolverines scoring twice. The first two times they had the ball, lead it 13-0. Back after this message about an upcoming show on ABC and a word from our local stations.
Sunday, journey to Mount St. Helens with those amazing animals for an exclusive report on the hardy survivors of this wildlife disaster. Then at 8, 7 Central and Mountain, the record-breaking super hit movie, The Experience That Brought the World to Its Feet.
He's the best. Hey, man, he's great. He's the king out there.
John Travolta is the star. The movie is Saturday Night Fever. Experience it.
Tomorrow, starting at 7, 6 Central and Mountain on ABC.
That's our halftime score at Ann Arbor. Michigan leading Purdue 13-0. And our Fireman's Fund flashback today featuring Neil Lomax and some highlights from previous Alabama-Notre Dame games. Today's Fireman's Fund flashback is brought to you by Fireman's Fund Insurance. And Fireman's Fund Insurance is brought to you by an independent agent near you. All right, let's go to New York. Our studio's there, and check in with Dave Dial. David?
St. Helens has been erupting all year long. Just 90 miles away in Portland, Oregon, we've had another series of eruptions, and the tremors have been felt wherever football is appreciated. Neil Lomax just may be the best college quarterback in the country. He quarterbacks Portland State, a Division I AA school in downtown Portland. Going into this season, the 6'3", 215-pound Lomax held 4 NCAA records, and this year he's really exploded. Last week, throwing for 8 touchdowns against Delaware State. He's thrown 29 scoring passes this year and completed 62% of his passes. For his career, he's gained more than 6½ miles through the air. In the Delaware State game, Lomax passed for 7 touchdowns in Portland State's first 20 offensive plays. And in that game, he broke Doug Williams' career touchdown mark of 93. 8 times in his career, he's passed for more than 400 yards. This fine young man recently won the Fellowship of Christian Athletes College Player of the Year award, and we talked with him about his accomplishments.
It's really a dream come true. I always wanted to pass the ball in high school and never really got the chance. Now I have at Portland State, and it's been a quick 4 years, Steve, and I'm just happy it's been so glorious for myself, and I know my teammates have really expressed gratitude towards me and towards Mouse, our coach, of putting in this unique style of offense we have of throwing the ball almost every down. And that's what happens when you throw the ball every down. You're going to complete a few. And when you do that, you can get a few yards, and that's what's happened to me. I've worked hard, but things have just come easy. And I expect hard things to come in the future. And that's really my goal right now, is to continue to work hard and see what happens after these last 2 games, and just trying to prepare myself for the off season, and hopefully the draft will come around. And that's my goal right now, is to be drafted and see where I can go next year and be a benefit to the team I can play for.
Oh, he's a dandy on the field and off. You know, perhaps no 2 teams in college football stir more passions than do Alabama and Notre Dame. The mere mention of the names, Notre Dame and Alabama, cause nostrils to flare and banners to wave. Well, they're playing today for the 4th time. Second half of our NCAA national doubleheader. Alabama ranked 5th, Notre Dame 6th. Notre Dame has won the 3 previous encounters, the total margin of victory just 6 points. When these teams play, it's sort of a holy war. Their first meeting was on New Year's Eve, the 1973 Sugar Bowl, the battle for the #1 ranking between 2 undefeated, untied teams. Notre Dame was leading 21-17 fourth period when Alabama quarterback Richard Todd got a halfback pass, went 25 yards for a touchdown. The extra point no good. Alabama had 23-21 with 9:33 to play, but Notre Dame came back. Bob Thomas kicked a 19-yard field goal, 4:26 left. The Irish lead 24-23. But the Irish had their backs to the wall at its own 3, 3rd and 9. Quarterback Tom Clements got him out of the hole, a 36-yard pass to tight end Robin Weber that clinched the victory and gave the national championship to Notre Dame. The second meeting took place 2 years later, the 1975 Orange Bowl, and Ara Parsegian was coaching his final game for the Irish. Notre Dame led 7-0. Number 22, Mark McLean, went 9 yards for a touchdown. That made it 13-0 Notre Dame. 8:29 left in the second quarter. Then in the fourth period, with Notre Dame holding on to that 13-0 lead, Alabama quarterback Richard Todd hit number 25, Russ Shaman, a 48-yard touchdown pass, but it was not enough as Notre Dame held on to win the game 13-11, giving Ara Parsegian his last great victory. That also knocked Alabama out of the ranks of the undefeated and knocked the Tide out of the #1 ranking. The first ever regular season meeting between these two schools took place November 13th, 1976 in South Bend. There was no #1 ranking at stake, but that didn't rob the game of any of its intensity. First play, second quarter, Notre Dame quarterback Rick Slager hits Dan Kelleher, a 56-yard touchdown run, a 7-0 lead for Notre Dame. Early in the fourth period, the Irish leading 21-10. Alabama quarterback Jeff Rutledge, a 30-yard touchdown pass to Ozzie Newsome. The 2-point conversion was good, and Alabama closed the gap to 21-18. Only 4:17 left in the game, and number 33 of the Irish, Jim Browner, intercepted Rutledge's pass. That preserved Notre Dame's 3rd consecutive victory over the Crimson Tide. Now, don't forget the second half of our nationally televised doubleheader. 6th-ranked Notre Dame and 5th-ranked Alabama, they meet for the 4th time here on ABC. More right after this message.
You know, for business insurance, Fireman's Fund fits almost everyone, large or small. It helps cover a business as huge as Paramount Pictures or as small as George's Photo Shop, a clothing manufacturer as worldwide as Levi Strauss, or a clothing store as local as Thielens. It even covers just about every state building in Nevada. So for your business, see an independent agent who represents Fireman's Fund. Large or small, this hat is just your size. In the yellow pages, Fireman's Fund Insurance Companies.
ABC winds up the NCAA college football season with an incredible lineup of classic college rivalries. Next Saturday, you'll hear the rumblings from the West Coast when USC and UCLA meet head-on. Friday, November 28th, the Eastern powerhouses, Pittsburgh and Penn State. November 29th, the Army-Navy Classic. And December 6th, an explosive doubleheader, Florida and Florida State. Then one of the fiercest rivalries in college football, USC and Notre Dame. Check local listings for all the great NCAA games in your area, live on ABC.
We're back in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Right now, the crowd being entertained by the Purdue University All-American Band. Our halftime score is 13-0 Michigan. The Purdue Band performing. $13-0 the halftime score at Ann Arbor on a cloudy and cold day. And for the 35th consecutive time, over 100,000 looking on at Michigan. The Purdue Band departing with Hail Purdue. Our halftime activities will continue from Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor after this message on behalf of the NCAA.
Billions of dollars are spent each year for research and development at our nation's institutions of higher education. These dollars are devoted to pursuing answers to the complicated questions that confront us today. In the process, they provide educational opportunities and exciting career possibilities. At Texas A&M University, research is being conducted with sorghum and sugarcane plants to develop a higher efficiency crop. Researchers are seeking better ways to use the entire plant. Stalks have the potential to be converted into sugar and molasses for animal feed, fermentation for energy, grain for human consumption, and the stalk residue may even be usable in the production of fiberboard and paper. In a project sponsored by the U.S. Department of Energy, scientists at the University of Tennessee Transportation Center are experimenting with a fleet of 15 electric cars. These researchers believe electric cars can outperform gas-operated vehicles and are a better alternative for family transportation and delivery services in urban areas. These electric cars not only consume less energy, but they also reduce noise and air pollution. Higher education is making a significant contribution to the betterment of people and the environment. It provides an expanding source of knowledge, inspiration, and hope for the future. Higher education. People preparing for tomorrow's challenge.
The preceding message has been provided by the NCAA.
Our halftime score, Michigan 13, Purdue nothing. Michigan scoring the first 2 times they had the ball in the first quarter. And then the defenses started to dominate. Al Michaels and Ara Parsegian in Ann Arbor. The fact that Purdue has not scored today, Ara, can you attribute that more to the Michigan defense or to Herrmann having an off day?
No, I attribute it definitely to the Michigan defense. They've done a fantastic job this afternoon. And of course they moved the ball very effectively in the first 2 drives, but Herrmann has thrown 3 interceptions, but I think it's more attributable to the Michigan defense. They have scouted well and they have conceived well. They still have 30 minutes to go against HERRMANN, though.
What changes might Purdue be thinking about at halftime?
Well, I think they're going to have to come out and get their confidence back because, as I mentioned earlier in the first half, HERRMANN has to be shaken a little bit, trying to question himself, the very thing that you asked me, whether or not it's his errors or whether or not there's some sophistication with the Michigan defense. And what he needs to do is to come out and complete 2 or 3 passes, get that confidence back again. I think that's what they're going to have to rely on because they've lived and died with HERRMANN now for 4 years, and they're not going to depart from that in the second half of this football game.
Take a look now at some of the first half highlights. Michigan taking over for the first time offensively and going in to score, and it was culminated here on the touchdown by Edwards.
It was a great drive on the part of Michigan. And they just give the ball to Edwards. They got a great block. You see here just on a reverse pivot, a great block from Becker, the right guard, on Looney, the outstanding linebacker for Purdue, and he thrusts into the end zone, hard running. Fullback here who's had 700 yards coming into this football game. You can see him spinning, twisting, and turning, and it was an exceptionally well-executed drive. Now this again here was a great example of sequence football. They kept running the ball, then they faked the run, came back, Carter put a great move on, was in the right corner, and Wangler threw the ball right to him. Number 1 right here, Anthony Carter, fantastic football player, his 11th touchdown pass of the 1980 season, and Michigan's second in this game. Now this is what I talked about happened to Mark Herrmann. Here he is on a first down situation. They fake a sweep to the right. Herrmann comes back. It appears that he has a receiver open. Watch number 37, Jackson, step in front of Burrow and pick the ball off the first of what will be 3 interceptions in this first half. It was a great play because Purdue had the ball at the 13-yard line of Michigan. This is the second interception that occurred. This time, Mark Herrmann comes back into the pocket, and it looked like he had an open receiver, and he throws the ball to Young, number 80. I think it's overthrown just a tad because Young has to come back. But watch Marion Body, right there, number 3, pick the ball almost off the tartan turf here, the second interception. And the third one from this vantage point here, the third interception in this first half, I'll swear that I thought he was wide open. Herrmann throws the ball, and once again, Jackson, number 37, comes out of nowhere. Here's the throw, right down the middle here. And watch Jackson come out of nowhere and pick it off. I'm sure that Bryant, number 1, thought he had a completion, and there goes Jackson with the third theft of the afternoon in the first half.
And Herrmann took a pretty good shot on that one. So 3 interceptions thrown by Mark. Michigan, meanwhile, has now not given up a point in 12 straight quarters. They've not been scored upon since the first half of the Illinois game 3 weeks ago on Saturday, the 25th of October. They put shutouts against Indiana and Wisconsin. and have not allowed a point today. Halftime score, Michigan 13 and Purdue nothing. Check some other scores for you. It's still pretty early. Not too much happening, but we will update for you. First quarter, Boston College leading Syracuse 3-0. West Virginia and Rutgers meeting today, 7-7. They're in the second quarter. Villanova Holy Cross underway. No scoring as yet. North Carolina early field goal to take the lead over Virginia. Right now, the Michigan band performing before the crowd, witnessing the final home game of Michigan's 1980 season. 35th straight sellout at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. University located about 30-40 miles west of downtown Detroit. The Michigan band, their rendition right now of One Fine Morning. And here it comes. It's familiar to every college football fan around the country, the Victors. The Michigan band. Band spelling out Ravelli in honor of Dr. Ravelli, honored today by the Michigan faculty. And now we assume the band getting ready for the Victors. There you go. Michigan game is being brought to you by Mr. Goodwrench and the General Motors Parts Division, who help you keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts. By 7-Up, the drink people are turning to because it fits their new active kind of life. The crisp, clean, refreshing taste of 7-Up, America's turning 7-Up. By Collision Crossing, the new slotless racing set with Night Glow, where the driver's skill and daring determines if he wins big or crashes. Collision Crossing from Tyco, of course. And by Betamax, the home videotape recorder from Sony, the one and only. Michigan band departing. Teams will be back out shortly. Halftime score, Michigan 13, Purdue nothing. And we'll be back right after this.
You can feel us coming now, a fresh look on the scene, with a whole new style of living, light and crisp and clean.
That's why now we say the age of 7-Up is here, because we love that crisp, refreshing taste, so light and crystal clear. Moving up, looking up.
It's good, huh? Yeah.
Wow, we got the generator! Now that's just my day.
America is turning 7-Up.
Cellini Cologne for the man who loves life. Cellini Cologne for men, created in Italy by Fabergé.
My alternator light won't go out. What do you think it is, Mr. Goodwrench?
Well, let's take a look. Mr. Goodwrench has the right GM equipment available to work on your General Motors car. Thousands of dollars worth. But he also knows the value of a well-placed thumb.
What's the problem?
Just a stretched belt. I can replace it while you wait.
Keep that great GM feeling.
Where Mr. Goodwrench works.
With genuine GM parts.
In the United States, fires kill 9,000 people and hospitalize 70,000 each year. The University of Michigan Burn Center provides treatment available at few other hospitals. The UM and the National Institute for Burn Medicine are planning an even more advanced facility to be a model, helping people like Karen Hogeveen, who was burned over more than half of her body, to recover and live again.
I appreciate that. I'm Karen Hogeveen.
Take a look there now at the numbers through the first half. Purdue, you'll recall, had minus 11 yards rushing error in the first quarter, so they picked it up on the ground a little bit, and total yards just about even.
Well, the stats are pretty close, as you point out, but the big difference, of course, is the touchdowns, the 2 touchdowns that Michigan got on the first 2 drives, and I was kind of surprised myself when I saw the halftime stats. It didn't appear that Purdue had made that many first downs or that much yardage. And there's no question those 3 interceptions are the key in the first half as far as Purdue is concerned.
That's the first half of our college football doubleheader today. Coming up a little bit later from Legion Field in Birmingham. Notre Dame against Alabama. Who do you like in that one, Aaron?
Well, I wish I knew. I'll tell you this. But I think that both teams have good running games, good defenses, and the passing games have been sort of ordinary. And I think a field goal will separate the game, the 2 teams at the end, and it could go either way. But I know that playing down in Birmingham will not be easy for the Irish. They're pretty noisy down there. I've been there.
Spoken like a true diplomat. Going to send you to the State Department immediately. This game will
wait a minute now. Let me ask you.
Yes?
Who do you think is going to win?
I think it's going to wind up in a tie. I really do.
You can be the president.
Notre Dame's got this thing about ties lately. How about Tech last week? That was something. 3-3. Here come the Wolverines back out onto the surface of Michigan Stadium. I don't care what school you root for. That song has to send chills up and down your spine. That's a beauty.
Isn't it a great one?
One of the classics.
Really getting fired up.
The victors.
Those arms comes out of the stands. Everybody in unison.
Michigan, let's set this game again in perspective for you. Michigan, Ohio State, and Purdue. All 6-0 coming in. Michigan, if they win today and win next week, they go to the Rose Bowl. Ohio State, if they win today against Iowa, and they're heavily favored, and if they can beat Michigan next week, they go to the Rose Bowl. The only way Purdue gets in is to win today, win next week against Indiana, and as you take a look at the standings, they would then need to have Michigan tie or beat Ohio State, because the first tiebreaker is head-to-head confrontation, and Purdue and Ohio State do not meet this season. The next tiebreaker is best overall record. And so if Ohio State and Purdue each go 8-0 in the conference, Ohio State would wind up 10-1, Purdue would wind up 9-2, and so it would be the Buckeyes in Pasadena New Year's Day.
One thing that Purdue cannot do is to control their own destiny regarding their attempts to get to the Rose Bowl and win the championship, because they have to rely on Michigan to beat Ohio State for them in the event that they can come back here in the second half and beat Michigan. They got a tough chore, no question.
Trying to really ought to amend. Well, no, I shouldn't, because if it winds up in a tie next week, Purdue would have the better conference record. That would be the reason they would go to Pasadena. So a tie would still help Purdue, but a lot of ifs, ands, and all that, and you can throw all of them out the window if Purdue doesn't win this one. They're down 13-0. Purdue to kick off to Michigan as we start the second half. 13-0 Wolverines. Rick Anderson, very fine place kicker. We haven't seen him at all, however, today, since they've not scored, nor have they attempted a field goal. There is Carter sneaking in behind Edwards. Of course, Carter's the man Michigan would like to handle the ball, and Anderson isn't going to give either man a chance because it's taken by one of the up men at the 25 and returned back out to the 36-yard line. Kenny Geer, number 39, running it back. Michigan, Wangler the quarterback. They go with Edwards and Rick, so we will see a lot of Woolfolk, 24 tailback. Mitchell and Carter the wide receivers. Harris, Powers, Lilja, Becker, and Moransky, the monster front line, and Betts the tight end. First down, Wolverines at their own 37-yard line. Edwards, 40, 45, and begins the second half with a first down. Purdue, defensively, Calvin Clark, their best lineman out of Atlanta. Chris Scott plays in the middle, and Paul Hanna, number 96, a junior. Outside linebacker is Kingsbury, led Purdue in tackles last year. David Fry, the other outside backer out of Cincinnati. Mike Marks made an interception to end the first half, and James Looney is the team's leading tackler. First down, Michigan. Edwards again to midfield. Looney made the stop, number 59. Secondary, Bill Kay, number 38, picked off 3 last year against Michigan. Robert Williams, 36. Seneff is the strong safety, a junior. And the rover is Marcus McKinney, the free safety.
One of the risks you take in ground balling the kickoff so that Carter can't run it is giving field position, and one first down has put Michigan right at midfield.
Second down and 8, Wolverines. Delayed, Edwards, and he's wrapped up at the 49-yard line. Mike Marks made the tackle, 62.
Little different look to the draw play. They used split backs. They've been running the draw play and the sprint draw out of the I formation, and that time they did it from split backs. Little different look for him, although it didn't work.
Edwards has carried the ball 12 times today for a total of 66 yards. Third down, 7. Michigan at the Purdue 49. Early third quarter, 13-0 Michigan. Wangler to the air. Stepping up now. He's going to run it, but down he goes, slipping on the turf at the 47-yard line. Shy of the first down by 5. Andy Gladstone was in the area, and Michigan to kick it.
You're right, Al. That field is a little bit slippery. That tartan turf is not quite as good a traction when it's wet as some of the other surfaces, and it looked like he might be able to scramble for a first down, but slipped and fell.
Had about a quarter-inch of rain here Thursday night and early yesterday morning. Don Bracken, the freshman punter, to put it away. Scott Craig is the single safety. An angled kick toward the near side. Craig lets it bounce, and it goes out of bounds near the 14-yard line. So Purdue coming out, starting in a hole at their own 14. Herrmann, Smith, and Macon are the running backs. Bryant and Burrell are the wide receivers. Guys up front, Fields, Cole, Quinn, Gunner, and Gillespie, with Young, the tight end, number 80. First down, Purdue. Some loose paper or tinfoil on the field. They take care of that. And the Boilermakers are ready. 12:42 to go, third quarter. Smith, nothing cooking. Jeff Shaw, number 95, made the tackle. Have a look now. There's Owens, who had a great first quarter. Turgovac, the defensive tackle. Shaw, the freshman who made that last play. And Caraway, the strong tackle, number 63. Robert Thompson, the outside linebacker. Second down, 11 at the 13-yard line. Purdue after a quick huddle. Herrmann throwing and incomplete, intended for Bryant. There were 3 receivers in the area that time, and Bryant couldn't hold on. Smith, Bryant, and Burrell were in the same area.
One of the things that, this is the other strategy that Young was going to use, is to go to a hustle huddle so that they could not substitute. You see, they can't go to their 6-back. Did they get him in that time? Yeah, I think they did get him in.
They did for right now anyway.
Because there was some confusion there. But that was the other strategy that it was going to employ in the second half.
To the shotgun, 3 receivers spaced on the right side, and out to the 20-yard line, but shy of the first down. Burrell made the catch, but they'll have to punt.
Well, it was a dangerous area to be operating in. You're back in your own 12, 13-yard line. You don't want to make any mistakes. Better off punting the ball away and getting field position.
Jim Boucher to kick. Breeze at his back. Line drive boot. Carter from the 41 to the 45 and spun down at the 46-yard line. So Michigan taking over near midfield. 11:32 remaining in the third quarter at Ann Arbor. The score, Michigan 13, Purdue nothing.
This is a modern-day giant. It does the work of yesterday's room-sized computer. Yet it's this small. A new computer on a chip from Bell Laboratories. Technology like this helps our network make home and office communications more reliable and economical. And in the future, will help transmit information services that put data and pictures at your fingertips. The Bell system, keeping your communication system the best in the world.
This Bud's for everybody who puts in a hard day's work.
This Bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
2 great coaches, 2 exciting teams, 1 classic confrontation. Notre Dame and Alabama next on ABC.
11:32 to play, third quarter. Al Michaels and Ara Parsegian in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Wolverines lead 13-0. They have the ball, their own 45, first and 10. John Wangler, the senior quarterback, giving it to Edwards, the senior fullback, who gets a yard and a half. And Mike Marks, number 62, makes the play.
Mike Marks made a great play. Dove back to the inside on just a pure off-tackle play and threw his body in front and kept that from being a pretty good gainer. Really shut it down.
Mike Marks made a key interception last year in the game against Michigan, preserving the victory. Second down 9 at the 46. Good protection. Tip pass, incomplete. Craig Dunaway, number 88, was the intended receiver. Couldn't hang on. Well, in the first quarter, what a year it's been for the city of Philadelphia, huh? Phillies, 76ers, Flyers, Eagles, and even the Owls. 7-0 over Penn State. Still early, though, first quarter. Third down, 9. Michigan at the 46-yard line. Wangler for Carter. Can't handle it. Threw a bullet. Joe Kay and Tim Senef covering.
The same. That's 2 plays in a row that they've run. Here it is. He comes back to the inside. And Wangler, I think maybe it was thrown just a little bit beyond him. Look at that. He reached out with his right hand and just barely touched the ball. It would have been a tough catch, very difficult catch.
Carter's caught 4 today for 72 yards. But Michigan to kick on 4th down. Bracken to boot it away to Scott Craig. 10 men on the line for Purdue. Wobbly kick. Bracken's not having a terrific day by any stretch of the imagination. Now the ball comes back on him. And it's down at the 19. 35-yard boot by Bracken. The Boilermakers at their own 19-yard line. Here's their average gain on first down. That's pretty good.
That's exactly what Jim Young wanted. He wanted to be 4-point or more, but unfortunately what has happened to that strategy has been the interceptions that Mark Herrmann has thrown. They had 12 first downs. They maintained possession. They threatened, but the interceptions were the key.
Benny McCall and John Macon are the running backs, and that's McCall going in motion on first down from the 19. The pitch to Macon. To the 22 for a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. And let's check out the Michigan defense. So look at their bench. Let's see if they come in with the extra backs here.
Now they're going to stay in the base at that field position. And also, Herrmann and Purdue has elected not to hustle huddle. The purpose of that was to keep Michigan from doing the substitution that they wanted.
2nd and 7. Strong side right. Young, the tight end. Smith back in the game, and he's in motion. Herrmann protecting, breaking down. Robert Thompson, number 99, was the man who got through.
Well, I'll tell you, what a job they're doing defensively. Now it's 12 quarters they haven't allowed a touchdown, 2 shutouts against Indiana and Wisconsin. And of course, with Herrmann going back into the pocket here, the pass rush, Thompson, number 99, rushing from the left side. Owens from the right side, number 53. They finally get him down back here, wrestle him down. And a sack is the best way. I think it was Eddie. Who was the Eddie? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pete.
3rd and 15. McCall takes it out to the 24. Andy Canavino made the tackle. They'll have to punt again.
Well, they were willing to give that kind of yardage, 3rd and long. They'll give them the draw play, long as they don't make the first down. And again, you have dangerous Carter back here. You can't contain him all afternoon. They kicked away from him, didn't allow him to field the kickoff, but it's tough to keep the ball away from him all afternoon. He's just about due to get a return.
There's Carter waiting for Jim Boucher's kick. Boucher's longest kick of the year, 57 yards.
Good kick.
Low, though. Carter, 32, and that's all. Flying down to make the tackle that time was Tom Kingsbury, number 15. 44-yard boot. 8:37 to play. 3rd quarter. Wolverines 13, Boilermakers nothing.
In 1931, Texaco developed a new gasoline for emergency vehicles called Fire Chief. Not just for fire engines, but family cars, too. In 1941, Texaco helped create a fuel refining process for the national defense.
For tomorrow, Texaco is working on a way of turning America's plentiful coal into clean burning gas. These are some of the ways Texaco is making good use of America's energy resources. Texaco, we're working to keep your trust.
Chevrolet announces America's lowest priced full-size diesel-equipped sedan, Chevrolet Impala. Look at these mileage numbers. Now that's better fuel economy than some smaller foreign cars, and you get the economy of lower priced diesel fuel. You get incredible cruising range estimates like these, all with roomy full-size comfort. So get up ahead with America's lowest price full-size sedan or coupe, the 81 Chevy Impala, now with available diesel economy.
Since its foundation in 1896, the Big Ten Conference has had a profound effect on the value placed on higher education throughout the nation. The Big Ten takes great pride in its role as a national leader in today's academics and athletics on the intercollegiate level.
The Purdue cheerleaders in force in Ann Arbor in their opposite number. The maize and blue of Michigan. Wolverines lead 13-0. First down, Michigan at the 32-yard line. And they stay on the ground and give it to Edwards, who churns out 4, maybe 5, close to the 37-yard line. James Looney, 59, from Los Angeles, and Derek Taylor, number 3, in on the stop.
Looney looks like he might grab the face mask. Let's see whether he does or not. Here he comes flowing over, number 59. Reaches up right there. Oh, he did have it, looked like.
Yep.
Either that or the side.
Got away with one. Second down 5 at the 37-yard line. Ricks to the 41-yard line where Tim Seneff makes the tackle. Kurt Becker helped lead the way. In the first quarter, the Panthers are rolling 21-0 over Army. Penn State has picked up a field goal. Still Temple leads 7-3. Nittany Lions and Panthers meeting in a couple of weeks. Third down and 1 from the 41. And Edwards moves forward. Should have the first down. Looney there. In on the stop. First down.
You know, we've got to give a lot of credit to the Purdue defense. They've done a great job. In the last 7 possessions of Michigan, they've been forced to punt the ball 5 times. They had 1 fumble and 1 pass interception. So after those first 2 drives, the Purdue defense has really stepped in and done a good job.
First down at the 43. Ricks tripped up, no gain. Mike Marks made the stop.
I'd also say that Michigan maybe has gotten a little conservative in their attack because they have had field position. I would think they'd go to Carter. Here he comes into the ball game.
Second down and 10. Time called. Shaking up Wolverine is John Powers, the guard. It's number 67. And Tom Dixon goes in to replace him. Michigan, a 6-game winning streak coming in. Purdue, a 6-game winning streak coming in. The other unbeaten team in the Big Ten, Ohio State, meeting Iowa today at Iowa City. Second and 10 from the 43-yard line. Wangler, good protection again, throwing, it's tipped and incomplete. Mike March was the man who got back there, number 62. He's been all over the field to tip that one.
I tell you, it was very fortunate that that was not intercepted. I think that Michigan would be better served if they ran some out patterns. You see, he's well covered. Seneff covering one-on-one in here. They're actually doubling. He's got support from the inside and outside. The ball is deflected right there by Marks, number 62. And, of course, it's an incompletion, but they were very fortunate it was not intercepted. I think they got to run more out patterns with Carter to set up the inside.
Right now, Carter's not even in the game. They have Mitchell to the right. Wangler on a roll. Throwing and nearly intercepted again and incomplete. Overshot Craig Dunaway, number 88. Wangler is now 6 out of 13 for 83 yards. Michigan unable to move again. The Purdue defense doing its job. Big question is whether Herrmann can get him down the field.
Well, again, it appears that if they get a good kickoff here again from Bracken, they could put Purdue in for field position again. That's the thing I think it's been hurting Purdue and Herrmann.
Scott Craig, single safety.
Uh-oh.
Very bad kick. Side of his foot. Wobbly boot. He needs a decent bounce and doesn't get one. Dead at the 37-yard line after a 20-yard kick by Bracken. Coming up on Monday Night Football, the Raiders. And a lot of people thought they'd finish last in the AFC West. They're first right now, 7-3 against the Seahawks. Tough task for Oakland as they move into the Kingdome in Seattle. 9 o'clock Eastern time. First down, Purdue from the 37-yard line. Operating from the wishbone, it's McCall who gets 2 yards to the 39. Second down and 8 with under 6 minutes to play in the third quarter.
The best field position Purdue has had in this half, out to the 39-yard line. And I would think that maybe Herrmann will start going for a little longer pass. He's been very conservative when he had poor field position in the earlier possessions in this quarter, throwing shorter passes, not wanting to make a mistake. Let's see if he goes for the longer one.
Shotgun here. 2nd and 8 from the 39. Bryant in motion. To Young, who slips down at the 39-yard line. That play has been working effectively in the sense they've been completing it today, but for almost no yardage. And on that play, no yardage officially, no gain.
Running a very shallow route. Right here is number 80, Young, comes right down practically the line of scrimmage. Now he slips and falls right there without getting a yard. Now, you need more yardage than that. I think Herrmann's very conservative. He's got to go for the first down yardage.
3rd down and 8 from the 39. Herrmann giving it to Smith, coming back the other way. That doesn't fool the Wolverines. Loss of 1.
Oh, what a play by Shaw, number 95.
Gerald Diggs came in along with Shaw. So 4th down, Purdue is stymied again. And Boucher to punt. Michigan leading 13-0. We've had no scoring since the middle of the first quarter. Michigan scoring on its first 2 possessions. Bad kick by Boucher. Side of his foot. Rolling toward the boundary. And out it goes at the 36-yard line. 27-yard kick after Bracken had put one up 20 yards. 4:14 to go, 3rd quarter. 13-0 Michigan.
General Motors introduces Computer Command Control, a new system that uses this onboard computer to help GM achieve the highest corporate average fuel economy in its history, while reducing exhaust emissions to the lowest in GM history. From now on, you'll activate this computer when you step on the gas. And it's on all standard and most optional gasoline engines from Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, and Cadillac. The computer monitors oxygen in the exhaust, engine speed, and coolant temperature, adjusting the air-fuel mixture to control combustion so that the catalytic converter can minimize emissions. Result, we're helping to clean the air while giving good fuel economy. Computer Command Control, designed and engineered for a changing world.
It's coming, television's most spectacular star-studded event. The all-new Battle of the Network Stars, December 5th on ABC.
4 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Michigan leading Purdue 13-0. Wolverines at their own 36 and a fumble, but they recover it. Michigan has not been mistake-prone today. George Wilja was there to fall on it, number 59, a man who will make a few All-American teams this year.
He's involved in the exchange fumble because it has been a great center here at the University of Michigan. Looks like...
That wasn't Wilja, no. Wangler.
Wangler finally got it back.
2nd down and 11 at the 35-yard line. Ricks breaks one tackle, then turns it into a gain of about 2 or 3. Close to the 39-yard line. Pitt is rolling. 8th-ranked Panthers, 28. Army, nothing in the 2nd quarter.
You know, on the 2 first drives that Michigan had, they used Carter very effectively on the out pattern. He'd just drive up the field and break to the outside. Now, since that time, they've been trying to hit him to the inside. Here they come with a combination route, 2 wide receivers.
Mitchell and Carter both to the right. Carter still running over the middle, and they swing it out to Ricks. 35, 40, gets the first down.
That was a little quick screen out to the outside with the twins, the combinations of the wide receivers clearing out. Wangler comes back. You can see Ricks comes out to the outside here, and they just dump a little screen. You'll see the blockers out in front. Now you see, I think it's Becker out here, number 65, and he gets to the outside. And Ricks comes up the sideline for a first down. Well-executed screen.
At the Purdue 48-yard line. 1st and 10, Michigan. Edwards tracks forward to the 43. Casey Moore, 98, in on the stop. Wrangler, 50% thus far.
Just 97 yards, 1 interception. One of the interesting things coming into this ball game is that Michigan had 9 touchdown passes in conference play. And I'm sorry, Purdue had given 9 touchdown passes in conference play, and Michigan had only given 1.
Second down, and they trip up Ricks. Mike Mark, 62. The man who has tipped passes away 30 yards downfield and stopped fellas trying to come out of the backfield. He's been that mobile today.
He's doing a great job. See here from ground level, see if we can pick up number 62. Here he is. Look at him penetrate right here. And of course, number 32, Edwards, tries to block him, but he's gotten too much penetration. Great defensive play by Marks.
The old swinging leg trick, huh?
Here we are with 2 wideouts again, Al.
3rd and 8. Carter and Mitchell split to the left. Carter in the slot. Carter still running an inside pattern over the middle, and they dump it off over the middle to Ricks, and he's close to a first down. At the 38-yard line, James Looney made the tackle.
Great second effort that time to get the first down. Here's Looney, number 59. Watch him retreat the coverage when he sees pass. Goes back to his zone. It's 59 right here. Now he comes back up again after the pass completion to Ricks. Puts a hit on him, but Ricks makes that second effort. Watch here. To get the first down. Great effort.
First down at the 38-yard line. 1:18 to play in the period. Double tight ends, Dunaway and Betts. And Ricks gets to the 34. So not much flair, but extremely effective is what Michigan has been on this drive.
Well, they're having difficulty getting this 5- and 7-yarder against this Purdue team since those first 2 drives. On the previous possession, they made about 6 yards, and then they lost to Marks after that great defensive play and had to go to the air to make it.
Second down and 6 at the 34-yard line, and it's Edwards. He gets to the 30. Hanna makes the stop. So they're picking up 4 yards at a crack here. Last 2 plays and using some valuable time. There's Carter after he caught that touchdown pass. Anthony has not figured in very much of the offense.
You can speculate whether or not Bo will go for a field goal. He's going into the wind here.
3rd and 2, 5 seconds to go in the period. And Edwards has the first down. He gets to the 26-yard line, and that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. James Looney makes the stop. So that's 13 consecutive shutout quarters for the Michigan defense. We go to the 4th, 13-0 Wolverines, and we'll be back after this commercial message and a word from our local station.
Oh, Snooker.
This office has a ComKey communication system with voice signaling.
Sure, baby.
This office doesn't. Even though he's on another call, this man's boss can still reach him.
Bob, can you get me the figures? I gotta go, baby.
This man's boss can't.
Oh, I bet you say that's all the boys.
This man has impressed his boss.
Upbeat points, sir.
So has this man.
Mr. Foster. I'll check.
The ComKey system by Western Electric. It saves you time and money, only from the Bell system.
Michelob Light for the winning team, okay?
You guys would do that for us?
Would a bunch of guys really go at it this hard just for a beer? Well, consider it's Michelob Light, and that means a rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
You guys never played like that before.
Hey, we never played for a Michelob Light before.
Michelob Light, compare the taste.
Monday, relive a cop's encounter with a UFO and babies brought back to life. That's incredible.
We start the fourth quarter in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Wolverines 13, Purdue nothing. And Michigan with a 1st and 10 with the ball at the Purdue 27-yard line. John Wangler, the senior quarterback, has been at the helm throughout. Ricks and Edwards are the running backs. The fake to Ricks. He's looking toward Carter. He's open at the 19-yard line for the catch. Bill Kay provided the coverage. They gain 8.
Well, this is what they did in the first quarter, and they haven't come back to it until the fourth quarter. They've been running him to the inside. This time he runs the out route again. They fake a sweep to the right. Carter just breaks to the outside. You see a ground level here. Catches the ball, but he slips and falls. Otherwise, he'd have made a little bit more yardage. But he has it. He's had this route just straight up the field and then to the sideline. They're so fearful of his speed and his deep routes that they're giving him this. But they haven't taken it since that first period.
Second down, call it 3, spotted at the 20-yard line. Ricks doesn't get anything. No gain. Mike Mark, 62. The omnipresent one makes the stop.
Maybe,
3rd down, 3.
May have even lost a little bit on the play. Now, there wasn't a whole lot that happened in the third period, but Michigan had the ball for 10 minutes and 4 seconds. Purdue only 4:56, and virtually no field position with the exception of one occasion.
Vintage Schembeckler.
Pardon me?
Vintage Schembeckler. Keep it away
right.
from the
right,
opposition.
That's right. That's right.
Take a look at the numbers now through the first 3 periods.
Well, you see Michigan with 245 yards to 174, and they had the ball for 10 minutes, but they weren't able to do anything with it in the third period. By the same token, Purdue hasn't done much with it either when they've had it. I think Herrmann has been very conservative. Even though he had poor field position, he has not thrown any lengthy passes. I don't know whether those 3 interceptions has shaken his confidence, but we'll see what happens in this fourth period when they get the ball again.
This last time out charged to Michigan. A look around Michigan Stadium. The attendance today, 105,831.
How'd you like to have the concessions here?
Oh, boy, I tell you. Well, Michigan has done a great job. Don Canham is the athletic director here. They really know how to sell this team. And, of course, they've had great teams. That helps. There's no question about that. But you've seen them throughout the course of the years around the country are. Sometimes you win. It doesn't necessarily mean you can put a whole lot of people in your stadium.
Well, the interest in football here in the state of Michigan is just enormous. And they've supported the Wolverines for years. And, of course, Schembeckler, you go back and you look at his record, he was the winningest football coach in the decades of the 70s. He had the best record of anyone. And there was a few guys that did pretty well, and that includes Bear Bryant.
3rd down situations. You can see Michigan, 52%. Opponents 37. And here it's 3rd down and 3 at the 20-yard line. Edwards. Close to a first. I don't think he got it. Mike Marks made the stop.
I think he's a little short. He's short about a half a yard. Now, will they go for the field goal or go for it?
Haji Sheik is a fine kicker, and he's going to come into the game here.
Well, that extra point that they missed, I'm sure influences him here. This will require, if he makes this field goal, it will require 2 scores or 3 scores to beat him.
Rich Hewlett will do the holding. It'll be a 35-yard field goal at an angle. Long enough. And no good. Had the distance, but not the accuracy. So Haji Sheik misses a 35-yard field goal attempt with 13:05 to play in the game. Purdue gets it back, but they trail Michigan 13-0.
The TDK cassette reveals its reasons for recording excellence. TDK is more than just tape. It's a perfect interplay between tape and mechanism. Each part precision engineered for outstanding musical performance. No nuances beyond its dynamic range. No instrument is forgotten. Music lives on TDK. The TDK cassette. Tape is only part of the story. Music is the sum of its parts.
Foreign oil. We know the consequences. higher prices, political instability. So America is working hard to reduce our dependence by increasing the use of our own energy resources. At Westinghouse, we're using our technology to get more energy out of coal and nuclear. And we're working on solar, fusion, fuel cells, and other renewable sources to serve our children for generations. Westinghouse, a powerful part of your life.
We're going to take another look now. Haji Sheikh misses. I think this replay may be inconclusive, but you can tell it's very close, obviously.
Look how close that is. The difference between 0 points and 3. That really was close.
Of course, there's an official who spotted right under the upright, and he made the call, as you can see in bottom left.
Oh, yeah. Right. He saw it well. Of course, all we're showing is how close it was.
First down, Purdue at the 20-yard line. Herrmann looking downfield and has to settle for the swing out to Smith, who does it himself out to the 26. He had no blocking in front. Gergash made the tackle.
Smith's a good, strong runner, I'll tell you. Coming into this ball game, he had 567 yards, and the average is 5 points a crack. He's had one long gainer of 63 yards.
Mark Herrmann leading him up on second down and 6. And out to the 39, but incomplete. Steve Bryant couldn't hold on.
Now that would have helped Herrmann if he could have held on to that ball. This is the first really long pass that he's thrown of any length since those interceptions. You see, Bryant comes down to the inside. Herrmann puts it low so no one can intercept it, but Bryant just lets it come out as he hits the ground. Brian Carpenter's right on top of it.
Third down and a long 3. They stay on the ground, give it to Macon, nothing doing. Andy Cannavino made the tackle. So Purdue has been stymied and stymied again.
Well, you got to take your hat off to this Michigan defense. What a game they've played, and what a job of preparing strategically for the NCAA leader, passing leader, has 9 records. Thus far, it's been a fantastic defensive job.
Purdue does not have a first down in this half. Boucher to kick. Carter from the 30. 35. Down he goes. Really took a shot.
He did also. If he'd have popped through those two, he was down that sideline.
Brock Spack and James Looney put a number on him after a 44-yard punt, 10-yard run back. Wolverines at their own 40-yard line, 1st and 10.
I'm sure that Bo would like to get 3 points on that board or another score on there. That 13 points, 2 scores beats him.
11:43 remaining in the game. Carter split to the right. Woolfolk is in the game, a tailback. Edwards bursts out to the 50-yard line. Gets 9. Bill Kay makes the tackle. Some updates for you. Georgia-Auburn underway, no score. Dooley and his gang have had trouble with the Tigers the last couple of years. Nebraska 4th ranked, underway with Iowa State, no score. Buckeyes, as expected, early first quarter lead, 14-0. Panthers rolling 28-0 in the second. Temple leads Penn State now 7-6 in the second. On 2nd and 1, it's Edwards for the first down, getting to the 48-yard line. Missouri and Oklahoma, no score. Orange have the lead against BC. Mountaineers by 2 touchdowns over Rutgers in the second. Villanova 17, Holy Cross nothing. First. Princeton and Yale tied 7-all. Second. Penn leading Harvard 14-7. First down. Wolverines at the Boilermaker 48-yard line. Edwards. 2 more to the 46. Tom Kingsbury makes the tackle. Edwards has now carried 22 times for 102 yards. Brown leads Dartmouth 10-0 in the second. Cornell over the Lions in the second. Boston University and Bucknell tied 3-all. And Connecticut leading Rhode Island 14-0. Mass leading New Hampshire 3-0. Delaware 14, Maine nothing in the second. 2nd and 8 from the 46-yard line. Edwards, 35, 30, 20 to the 16. Tim Seneff made the stop.
I'll tell you what happened on that play. Purdue elected to blitz. They thought he was going to throw the football. Watch the blitzers penetrate. He gets to the outside of them. You see here they're going after the quarterback. Edwards finds the seam, and now there is no linebackers to help. They've already blitzed. Now he's into the secondary, and it's a big gainer, and they have to rely on the deep people. Seneff, number 43, catching him right here and finally bringing him down. Both linebackers blitzed that time.
You saw Woolfolk taking out the corner, Derek Taylor, with a key block to spring him. 16-yard line, 1st down, Michigan. Inside the 10, Woolfolk to the 6. Mike Marks making the stop. Have another look now at Edwards.
You see Marks, number 62, blitzes right there. He goes after Wangler, and then he's of no help now because Edwards got the ball and into the secondary. Marks chasing 62. And now when he gets out there, Seneff makes a great play to bring him down here.
Woolfolk carrying close to 10. They're going to measure here. And just shy. So it'll be 2nd down and that much for the 1st, and only 6 for the touch. 9 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the game.
Well, the Purdue defense has been containing well, and then boom. 2 plays in a row, and they're down to the 6-yard line.
Second and inches. Double tight end. And it's Edwards to the 4. It'll be 1st down and goal. Boy, Edwards is just one of those guys that turns it out, sloshes and chugs his way through the line for 3, 4, 5, 6 yards at a pop. Doesn't get a whole lot of ink, but is a very valuable man. He's been in there all the way today.
Well, all 3 of them, Woolfolk, Ricks, and Edwards, all had almost 700 yards coming into this game. Good balance.
1st and goal from the 4. Edwards again gets about halfway to the goal line. It'll be 2nd and goal.
You got to hand it to the Purdue defense. They've been tough. They haven't given anything easy and cheap. And they finally made a couple of mistakes. They guessed wrong. They thought Wangler was going to throw, and they blitzed the linebacker, Mark, and he took himself right out of the play.
Edwards, he's already carried the ball 25 times today. 2nd and goal. Woolfolk, and he's in for the touchdown. Butch Woolfolk giving Michigan a 19-0 lead.
Great second effort here on the part of Woolfolk. Watch him come into the line, just a tailback action. Look at him take off. Dives, launches himself, spins again, and there the ball crosses the goal line, and you'll see the official signal so.
You also see the grimaced Marcus McKinney, the look on his face as he went down. And now to his feet.
Okay, he's okay.
So Woolfolk makes it 19-0 Michigan. 8 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the game. Ali Haji-Sheikh.
Now they'll go for 2 points, I think, here.
Yep.
Because it's 19, they missed that extra point, I would think. There goes Wangler back in. Yep, Woolfolk coming out.
Yep, Haji-Sheikh, last time he was in, had an extra point attempt blocked. First time this season. He'd made 34 straight. So that having occurred earlier, Michigan will go for 2. Carter is in the slot, and they've got 3 receivers to the right side. They send Gear in motion now to the left. Wangler rolls right, looks over the middle, and it's incomplete. So they missed the conversion attempt. The pass was intended for the tight end, Norm Betts. 8 minutes, 21 seconds left in the game at Ann Arbor. 105,000 looking on. It's Michigan 19 and Purdue nothing.
I may be the only man running a major brewery who is a master brewer. Have been for 40 years. I'm Frank Sellinger, Chief Executive Officer of Schlitz. 2 years ago, when they asked me to come to Schlitz, they said, Frank, let's make the best. Here it is, Schlitz. Compare Schlitz with any other beer. This has the taste that I've been after for 40 years. I know you'll like it.
This is my New York life agent. How did he get so big in my eyes? When I got married, he suggested a very affordable starter policy. He really grew in my eyes. Later, the same New York life agent gave me brilliant advice in business insurance, and he grew some more. Now it's a policy that guarantees retirement income. My New York life agent stands 10 feet high with me. Ask your New York life agent. He has the answers for you.
4 years after the birth of its women's division, the National Junior College Athletic Association offers championships in 13 sports. The NJCAA applauds the junior colleges for expanding opportunities for women in sports.
Michigan moving 60 yards in only 3:22, leading 19-0 now with just 8 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the game. Michigan seeking its third consecutive shutout. Ali Haji Sheikh with a deep kick, touchback. So Mark Herrmann starts this drive from the 20-yard line. It's good to go back. We had this graphic before, but you can take a look at what Herrmann has done career-wise versus Michigan. Nothing really too super, Eric.
Well, they've really done a number on him, and I think Herrmann must feel about the way I did when I played Southern Cal, when he plays Michigan. You understand that, don't you?
Anthony Davis is my idol.
I'll get even with you, Al.
First down at the 20-yard line. They fake the double reverse and settle for Smith going one way and picking up a yard. Brian Carpenter ran him out of bounds. Check out some scores from the South. LSU and Mississippi State underway. No score. Florida leads Kentucky 7-6 in the second. Ole Miss and the Vols, no score early. Likewise, Miami and Vanderbilt. Carolina leading Virginia 6-3 at the half. Maryland a 7-0 lead over Clemson second quarter. Second down and 9. Herrmann to Young, and the tight end gets out to the 27-yard line. Keith Bostic was covering. At the half, North Carolina State a 17-point advantage over Duke. Wake Forest and South Carolina are tied in the second. Navy 7, Georgia Tech nothing in the second. Virginia Tech leading VMI. Indiana a 7-6 lead over Illinois in the second. Third down 3 now from the 27-yard line. Herrmann needs a first down. Still looking for somebody to get open. Throws into a crowd, and it's incomplete. Dave Young and Steve Bryant were both in the area.
Well, that was a great example of the six-back defense in there. They had everybody covered. Herrmann could not find anyone.
In the Big Ten, MSU and Minnesota, 0-0. Northwestern has the lead over Wisconsin, 7-0. Oklahoma State and Kansas State underway. A&M and Arkansas scoreless. Jim Boucher to kick. Anthony Carter ready to receive at the 35. High kick this time. Fair catch called for by Carter at the 42-yard line. But the Michigan defense stopping Purdue. And Michigan taken over after a 31-yard boot. At the half, Penn State has moved out in front of Temple, leading it 12-7.
I think the last 5 times I think that Purdue has had the ball, it's been 1-2-3 kick.
Yep.
1-2-3 kick. What a job this Michigan defense has done.
No first downs for Purdue in the second half. First down, Michigan at the 42-yard line. Wolverines lead 19-0. Edwards downs at the 37-yard line. Tim Seneth made the stop.
Boy, they've got him on the run now. Edwards does a great job of running. He gets, this play is well blocked. The tight end really walls in beautifully. We can't quite see it here. Right there, you see number 88, who does a great job. It's Dunaway that comes in here, and here comes Edwards. He shakes off a tackler. I think it's number 38, Bill Kay, and picks up a lot of good yardage.
Wolverines at the 36 of Purdue. 7:46 left in the game. Edwards again to the 34-yard line where Looney makes the stop.
Came back with the same play, only this time Purdue defended it. There's Dunaway, who made the great block on the previous play.
Second quarter, Panthers really rolling. 35-7 over Army.
It must be a pretty good ball club, that Pittsburgh.
Lost but once. Retired Hugh Green's jersey last week. See that? Number 99.
Yeah, right, he can play.
Second down, 6 at the 33-yard line. Carter to the 23-yard line. There's your out pattern. Bill Kay making the tackle.
Now it's the same thing. They've had that, as I mentioned earlier. The same out pattern, looking in. Wangler makes a good fake to the inside, and then, of course, here comes Carter down the field. They're so afraid of his deep routes, and he just turns away. There is no one to shelter it. The ball is thrown. He just slips and falls, but he hangs onto the ball for a first down.
At the 23-yard line, 1st and 10. 6:42 remaining in the game. Woolfolk and Edwards are the running backs. And they give it to Butch Woolfolk.
Fumble.
And he loses the ball, and Purdue has it at the 20. James Looney recovers it, number 59.
Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play. Here he comes, Woolfolk, off tackle to the right. That's the 3rd time they've run the same play. Oh, no one hit him. The ball just squirted out. That's a surprise there. Looked like he might have been trying to switch it.
Looney recovers, ball at the 21, 6:32 remaining in the game. And Herrmann has to start throwing downfield now, but no, it's Macon on the ground. And he's wrapped up by Canavino and pushed back. Now, how in the world do you make that call, Ara? As we've got some jostling and a flag thrown.
Very surprising call with plenty of time for a guy like Herrmann. 6.5 minutes. The flag down, I think, far side. Al, I don't know whether that...
Yeah, personal foul Purdue.
Yeah.
Last thing Purdue needs at this point, but of course if they're going to stay on the ground, nothing's going to help them at this point.
No, they're not going to run the ball in 6 minutes and 8 seconds and score 3 touchdowns. They've got to rely. That's Gillespie.
Here.
Gillespie is 75. And 92 is Coles. Oh, it's okay. It's all right, fellas. Half the distance to goal line.
Second down, 20 with the ball at the 11-yard line. Out of the shotgun, they send Young in motion. And Herrmann throws to Burrow out at the 17-yard line. Keith Bostic to wrap him up. Herrmann is completing a good percentage of his passes today, but for what, 5-6 yards at a pop?
That's exactly right. And of course, the thing that really hurt him is on that penalty, it was a dead ball foul, which meant that they lost that first down as well. Down counted. They're now into a 3rd down situation with about 12.
3rd down, 14, ball at the 17-yard line. 5 minutes, 10 seconds to play in the game. Michigan leading 19-0. Herrmann finally going deep and incomplete as Bryant took a shot from Tony Jackson, number 37.
Well, Jackson has played a great game. It looked like a completion. Herrmann put it right in here. Watch Bryant right here, and watch Jackson come in here. The ball is caught, and Number 37, Jackson, hits him right there, shakes the ball loose, and instead of being a completion, it is another beautiful defensive play by the Wolverines. And Tony Jackson, who's having a great, great afternoon.
Boucher to punt. Fair catch signaled for at the 46-yard line by Evan Cooper, the up man. And Michigan will take over there. Simply a matter of time right now. Very little doubt about the outcome. 4:58 to play. 19-0 Michigan.
Hello?
Who's that?
Hi, Truckee. Hi, sweetheart.
Who are you?
Hey, Ellen. Hey, everybody. I'm home for dinner.
Give us a second to get over the shock.
When Rudy and his brother started a construction company, working late seemed to become a way of life. The better business got, the more there was to do, with less time to do it in. Then they bought a low-priced IBM computer, the 5120, the perfect computer for small companies with big plans. It helps prepare job estimates, track costs.
Hello. Look, do me a favor. Check the concrete costs, huh? Okay, hold on.
Figure equipment needs, and material needs.
Under by $2,400.
IBM never stops searching for new ways to make difficult jobs easier, so people can do more important things, like go home for dinner.
It's going to be strange eating a dinner that hasn't been reheated.
We could wait a while and let it get cold.
Daddy! IBM, helping put information to work for people.
Two great coaches, two exciting teams, one classic confrontation. Notre Dame and Alabama next on ABC.
Al Michaels and Nara Parseghian in Ann Arbor with 4 minutes and 58 seconds to play. Michigan leads Purdue 19-0, and Michigan has the ball at the Purdue 46-yard line. John Wangler, the quarterback. There's Edwards, been the mainstay today in this offense. Wrapped up there after a gain of 1. It'll be second down and 9. Run through some scores for you. Georgia and Auburn still scoreless, going to the second now. Fourth-ranked Nebraska has the lead over the Cyclones, 7-0. Ohio State shouldn't have any problems today, 21-0. They lead Iowa. Ohio State meets Michigan next week in Columbus. Pitt rolling, 35-7 over Army. Second down, 9 Wolverines at the Boilermaker 45. Edwards again. And chugs for a yard and a half. 3rd and 7. Mike Marks made the tackle. A couple of more scores involving teams in the top 10. Penn State struggling, but leading at the half by 5 over Temple. And Oklahoma and Missouri. No score there. First quarter. Sooners meet Nebraska next week. 3:48 to play. 3rd down, 7, Michigan. Edwards has carried the ball now 29 times for 165 yards.
Oh, what a day.
We had a whistle before the snap that time.
Well, they had the delay. They took the 25 seconds. I say don't mind there. I think they're trying to bleed the clock, run it off.
Edwards, he had a great day when we were here 3 weeks ago for that Illinois game. Career high, 165 yards. Senior. Ingram is back up, hurt, so Edwards really had to carry the load today.
You know, Bo was really concerned about it because he lost Ingram on Wednesday and didn't have backup fullback. I asked him whether or not Woolfolk or Ricks could go over there. He says, no, they didn't know all the plays, and it was too late as far as the game plan was concerned. So Edwards has a sensational day, and with a handicap. Oh, look here.
There's Carter at the 27-yard line and bumped out of bounds at the 25 by Bill Kay.
Boy, I'll tell you, Carter is something. He's always running to the open seam. He makes it really tough on the defenders. He starts inside. He watches the coverage. Senef, number 43, just breaks away from him to the sideline. He's got enough of a cushion from the deep defender, and he catches the ball. Finally is run out of bounds here by number 38, Bill Kay.
1st and 10 at the 25-yard line, 3:19 remaining in the game. Wangler, incomplete. Intended for Norm Betts. Second down and 10. AC, the sophomore, Anthony Carter, 7 catches, 114 yards. He'll bring the next play in from the bench.
I think they had Mitchell out there also. Mitchell slipped and fell down, number 30 there.
Anthony Carter, sophomore from Riviera Beach, Florida. Second and 10. Ricks to the 20. Ricks is only a sophomore. You know, we've been mentioning Edwards as a senior, but Edwards missed the 78 season with an ankle injury. He could actually petition the Big Ten for another year of eligibility. It's conceivable that he could return for one more season.
Well, I know that'd make him pretty happy. Well, Bo pretty happy, wouldn't it?
Tell you, if we have to do any more pregame shows on eligibility questions, we're going to bring in F. Lee Bailey to do the analysis. Third down and 6. Wangler to Carter for the touchdown. Second touchdown for Carter today.
That's that pass route that they had difficulty in completing out in the middle of the field where Carter goes down and breaks over the middle. Sunoff has been covering him. This time, Wangler puts it right there. Carter is open. There's the throw from an end zone shot. Look at that right there. And number 38, Bill Kay, cannot keep up with him. And it's a 4th touchdown for the Wolverines.
12th touchdown catch of the season for Anthony Carter. 19th of his career. Ali Haji-Sheikh's pitch is good. And with 2:37 left in the game, there is no doubt. And there hasn't been for quite some time.
Here's another angle from it. Carter comes up. Look at the fakes he puts on here. Inside, outside. That's Kay. Bill Kay, 38, trying to stay with him. He gets the inside leverage on him. And here comes the pass from Wangler right there.
2:37 remaining in Ann Arbor. Michigan 26 and Purdue nothing.
I checked your car and it needs new brakes. I recommend the kind that chirp like a cricket.
Chirp, Mr. Goodrich?
Right. Genuine GM replacement disc brake pads. When they need replacing, they warn you with a chirp.
How, Mr. Goodrich?
With this built-in wear sensing signal.
Brakes with a chirp.
Keep that great GM feeling.
Sounds good.
With genuine GM parts.
The New York steak dinner at Denny's starts with more than a half-pound loin of beef, aged just the right number of days, grilled up juicy and tender. Next come crisp onion rings and a big baked potato with real sour cream and grilled garlic.
We're going to check the bowl pairings coming right up in just a minute.
Bowl Fever. Next, we'll preview the matchups for the 1980 bowl game.
You give a man a couple of days to himself and a Black & Decker workmate, and there's almost nothing he can't do. You can pound on it, saw on it, hammer on it, and sand on it. The sturdy vice jaws do the holding for you. You can clamp on it, paint on it, cut a shape on it, drive a screw on it. There's almost nothing you can't do. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
You can feel us coming now, a fresh look on the scene, with a whole new style of living, light and crisp and clean.
That's why now we say the age of 7-Up is here. Cause we love that crisp, refreshing taste, so light and crystal clear. Move it up, look it up.
Good, huh?
Wow, we got the generator! Now that's just my day.
Okay, I've just been told in the 4th quarter now, Washington is leading Southern Cal 17-10. If Washington wins, of course, Washington goes to the Rose Bowl. Well, this is the most exciting, I guess, Saturday, you should say, in college football, because this is the day that the bids for the postseason bowl games can be extended and, of course, can be accepted. It's probably the week of the most rumors we ever hear in college football. We're going to straighten you out live on what's happening. We'll take you down to Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama, and Bill Fleming.
It's an empty stadium here, Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. A somber group of Crimson Tide rooters left here after Notre Dame had shut out the Tide 7-0. So it's on to the Sugar Bowl for the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. As a matter of fact, Mother Nature cooperated a little bit. It held off on rain until just about 5 minutes ago, and a light rain is falling here now. A very exciting day in college football, as it always is when the bowls are announced. So let's give you a rundown on what we have so far. As you know, Georgia defeated Auburn today, getting the SEC championship, so going on as the host in the Sugar Bowl against Notre Dame. In the Orange Bowl, the Big 8 champion to be determined next week, a game you'll see on ABC, Oklahoma or Nebraska against Florida State, and Florida State now has committed to playing in the Orange Bowl, so the Seminoles will be there. In the Rose Bowl, again, a game that will determine who the Big Ten representative is next week. Ohio State against Michigan in Columbus against the Pac-10 champion. Now, Washington and Washington State are in contention, but Washington right now is leading USC 20-10 in the fourth quarter. So if the Huskies continue to beat USC, then they clinch the Pac-10 championship and the bid to play either the Ohio State Buckeyes or the Wolverines of Michigan in the Rose Bowl. In the Cotton Bowl, the Southwest Conference champion Baylor will be the host there, and Alabama just a few moments ago in a vote in the locker room here at Legion Field voted to go to the Cotton Bowl to play Baylor. It was a rather dramatic moment because the Alabama had been wooed by the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl, and Jim Brock of the Cotton Bowl came out and said they voted to go to the Cotton Bowl. In the Liberty Bowl, Missouri, the third-place team in the Big 8, faces the Boilermakers of Purdue, the third-place team in the Big 10, which lost to Michigan today, in case you missed it, 26-0. In the Gator Bowl, South Carolina, with the exciting George Rogers, will be in against either Penn State or Pitt. That has yet to be determined. In the Bluebonnet Bowl, North Carolina, the Atlantic Coast Conference winner, will go against the Longhorns of Texas, and that is a commitment, so the Bluebonnet Bowl is locked. In the Fiesta Bowl, the Big Ten runner-up, so the loser of the Michigan-Ohio State game, will go in against either Penn State or Stanford in the Fiesta Bowl. In the Sun Bowl, the loser of the Oklahoma-Nebraska game will be in against Mississippi State. The Bulldogs won the game today over LSU big. This game still is a possibility, let's put it that way. It's not what we are calling a lock at this point. Now, we just got a report by phone that Mississippi State has definitely committed to the bowl, so the loser of the Oklahoma-Nebraska game will be the opponent of the Bulldogs, and that is firm. The Holiday Bowl, SMU will play the WAC winner. Now, that's getting to be kind of an interesting race. Brigham Young won today over Colorado State, but must play Utah next week. So Utah still has an opportunity to get in there to play in the Holiday Bowl against SMU. That, of course, will be determined by the outcome of the game on the 22nd of November. In the Tangerine Bowl, Maryland has committed to play, and our speculation is that it will be against Florida. So Maryland has made the commitment. Florida, as yet, has not. And the Hall of Fame Bowl, which will be played right here in Birmingham, Tulane has accepted the bid to play in that game, and the team against Tulane will be named at a later time. Nothing to report on the Peach or the Garden State Bowl, but we can report very definitely Notre Dame played one of its finest games against Alabama, 7-0. So Notre Dame goes on to the Sugar Bowl, Alabama to the Cotton Bowl. Bill Fleming reporting from Birmingham. Now let's go back to Dave Dials in New York.
And I got a hunch where Bill Fleming is going to be next week, Michigan and Ohio State. A couple of updates. Washington leading Southern Cal now 20-10. They're in the fourth period. And Washington State has defeated California 31-17. Let's check the top 10 once again. Number 1 ranked Georgia has defeated Auburn. The score was 31-21. And Georgia, of course, #1 for the first time since 1942, the era of Sinkwich and Trippi. Washington and Southern Cal are now in the 4th period. You see the score there. Nebraska, or Florida State, idle until December the 6th against Florida. Nebraska, #4, 35-0 over Iowa State. That sets up a great game, Nebraska and Oklahoma next week, and that's one of the regionals you'll see right here on ABC. The winner goes to the Orange Bowl and the loser to the Sun Bowl. Notre Dame and Alabama, 7-0 for Dan Devine's Fighting Irish. And if he stays or goes or wherever he goes, he'll never forget this one today. Ohio State 41-7 over Iowa. Murray and Schleister both with big days. Pitt defeated Army. The score was 45-7. Another big afternoon for Pitt's 2 fine quarterbacks, Trocano and Marino. Penn State over Temple after a slumbering start. It was 50-7. And Oklahoma 17-7 over Missouri. Buster Rhymes with 132 yards. Next Saturday, a big day. Ohio State and Michigan. The Big Ten championship and the trip to Pasadena on New Year's Day hangs in the balance. Oklahoma and Nebraska, the Big 8 championship and the trip to the Orange Bowl in Miami hangs in the balance, plus another regional game in Southern Cal and UCLA. And then Monday night, NFL Monday Night Football, Oakland and Seattle. Speaking for Chris Schenkel, this is Dave Dials. Thanks to all of our young ladies here, and thanks to all of you for watching. We'll see you next Saturday.
This has been the College Football Scoreboard. Brought to you by Silver Streak, the train with the gleaming chrome locomotive that shines like a streak of silver. Working day or night with Night Glow from Tyco, of course. And by 7-Up, crisp and refreshing. America's turning 7-Up. This has been an ABC Sports presentation.
Tonight, starting at 8/7 Central and Mountain, an evening of fun and fantasy. First, an all-star 2-hour love boat to the exciting Caribbean, and it could be the captain's last voyage. Then a gorgeous woman's desire to be a sex goddess turns into terror on Fantasy Island. Tonight on ABC.